Angst in Tel Aviv on day 6 of the war with Iran.
Despite the fact sirens are sounding, these barrages are much smaller. And as a result, just 2 minutes ago, Israel's Homefront Command changed their guidelines from essential activity to limited activity. This means that people will be able to gather in groups of 50 or less, and they'll be able to see friends and family and leave their houses in a way maybe that they haven't done before as a result of this conflict.
Israel and the U.S. also keep up the attacks on Iran. President Trump says on a scale of 1 to 10, this operation is a 15.
Tremendous progress that's being made. Their missiles are being wiped out rapidly. Their launchers are being wiped out.
Now, as the U.S. also targets Iran's Navy, it is angry over one sinking in particular.
Abbas Araghchi says the United States will bitterly regret the precedent. Tehran's foreign minister was speaking after a U.S. submarine sunk an Iranian Navy frigate with a torpedo. It happened near Sri Lanka in international waters. Dozens of sailors were killed.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, today, Democrats are pushing a war powers resolution in the House, trying to limit President Trump in Iran.
If you're tired of wars in the Middle East, support our resolution.
But that Senate resolution that Chuck Schumer, the minority leader, was pushing failed. It was voted down by Senate Republicans. Now, as the conflict continues and there is concern about the shipping of oil prices continue to rise this morning, and so does gasoline, up another 6 cents. AAA's national average for regular is now $3.25 per gallon, surging 26 cents the past 3 days. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los. I'm so glad that it's Thursday. It is Stripper Thursday. So close. You can touch it, but you can't. You can touch it, but you ain't supposed to.
You'll get thrown out if you do.
They will toss you out on your tail.
That weekend is that close, but not yet.
Not yet. But we are delighted that you're here at 404-741-1230. If you'd like to reach out on the phone, add Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. That number is 404-741-1230. Make sure everybody gets to digest that.
404-741-1230. 12:30.
Hit it out of the park.
Now, if you happen to call this early, I don't know what you want to get into.
Yeah, right, but it's got to be something good.
I don't even know if it's a free skate yet. Right. You might determine the course of the show, but, I mean, we got things we got to get to.
Yes, we do. There's so much. There is so much going on, including assisting commandos in Ecuador. You know, just the fact that the special operations community, the CIA, the intel community, helping those people simultaneously while we're actually operating and conducting a war in Iran.
So I got to do an early shout out.
Oh, country call out. Let's go.
This was suggested by you because I talked about how late in the week I got word that for the North Forsyth Volleyball Fundraiser Golf Tournament that I had a team. And I started the walking around the office like, hey, guys. And, you know, a bunch of parents, a bunch of fathers. I know it's last minute and everybody on Saturday. Busy, busy, busy. So I was like, all right, I know who else is busy, but I'm going to reach out because what if I want to win this thing?
Yeah, let's go get some ringers.
Let's call on Gary Miller.
Yes. And is he coming?
And he's got
Sanders
a couple
coming?
more guys. Well, he's not. We got three, though.
Okay.
And so now I have a 4-man team. We'll call it a fire team.
Yeah.
We're going to go and light some stuff on fire.
Dude.
But I do expect to hear, because, Gary's still plugged in quite a bit with what's going on in the community, the military community.
Yeah.
And so I'm very much looking forward to that round of golf, because there's going to be so much discussed in the world, not just in politics, of course, but in what our soldiers are doing around the world.
Without a doubt. Dude is so dialed in. He has the pulse on a lot of things. And he's a fascinating guy. His experiences are incredible for his time in the Air Force. So, you're gonna learn.
You'll learn a lot.
You're gonna learn some things.
Listen, mouth closed, eyes open.
That's right.
Ears open.
Listen more, talk less.
That's right.
That's what I always tell my kid. Listen more, talk less. So that's gonna be fun.
So shout out to you and shout out to Gary. Can't wait to get together with you guys Saturday.
Country call out starting. Speaking of country call outs, dude, there's just that bit of me that wants to go see a show at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
I keep hearing I think it's what are the one that I saw that it's Metallica that got booked for a run at the Sphere.
They did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't go because it's Vegas, because I absolutely would. Some friends of ours went and saw U2. I think the opening show, the very first show out there. But what if they were to put a mic closer? Seems like it'd be easier to get to, like Nashville.
If we added another facility in Nashville.
They might be coming to Nashville. Sphere Entertainment is talking with Nashville leaders about building a smaller version of that really high-tech venue in Music City, USA. Good Lord, dude. We'd be up there all the time.
Well, I hope it's not in the same way that we have like Disney World and then Disneyland.
Yeah,
Disneyland's great. It ain't Disney World.
Right. Land was the original. World is the best.
Right.
In Orlando. So, I don't know how it'll go, but it just seems like that could be really cool for people living in Atlanta if we could just scoot up there and see a show like that. Because the Sphere up there in Vegas holds about 20,000. So let's say this is 12,000. We could get in there, Los. And
I hope
have
so.
To go to Vegas.
I mean, right now, prime directive number 1, the 250th celebration in D.C.
Yep.
We're working channels.
Yes.
It's been brought up with management and ownership. What if you can do the show there? I don't think that's the problem.
Yep.
I think the challenge is, can we get in the overflow crowd for the UFC fight?
Yes. That's right. Dude, it'd be so much fun.
That is our goal right now.
The coolest event I think you would ever attend.
So much fun.
And as we brought up, we don't know if we can bring any listeners. We won't. We can't. It's from a security standpoint. That's what I understand.
Yeah.
But
if they let our sorry tales in.
But we would record a ton of stuff to try and give everybody a feeling of being there.
Yeah.
So
dude,
jump on board, America. Let's do this together.
Me and my karate.
Tug, are you a UFC guy?
Not really, no.
I've got him to watch a handful of fights.
I've watched just when Los is like, hey, this is a good one to watch, and I will. But like with any regularity, no. I'm not opposed to it. It's just never gotten part of my routine. Kind of like wrestling, except it's
Fight Island got me in 2020 because it was really the only sports that I had.
Yeah.
And then that got me into following along with the ladder system and everything else.
You weren't.
I wasn't a big UFC guy. I'd watch a fight here and there.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, that's good. Well, let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, the Morning Xtra. Tug Los, deep in the story, breaking news that's bold.
Oh my gosh. They are attempting something in Los's home state of Texas that this probably ain't gonna fly, or I wouldn't think it would fly. There's actually a handful of candidates, and I'm just like, wait, what? This cannot be. These things cannot happen.
I'm curious if this will ever play out here in Georgia, and I think as we get to know some of the candidates, I think we need to identify the game, all right? Game needs to identify, recognize game, what is happening. For instance, when we saw the video yesterday, it was circulating all around of the man that was dressed as a Marine, he went into a congressional hearing, and he went to go complain.
Yeah.
It took about an hour to recognize, so he is and this is what I'm telling you, this is a lot of wolf in sheep's clothing sort of stuff going on right now. because the fervor was, I can't believe that an American serviceman was treated that way. Can't believe you did that to a Marine.
Yeah.
He is the Green Party candidate out of North Carolina for a seat, and he is a giant supporter of Hamas. He doesn't believe Israel should exist. In fact, he was pushing from the, from the whatever to the sea.
Oh, yeah, for the, what is the Marine song? Yes,
he was pushing a version of the Marine song, from the shores of Tripoli.
Oh, you're talking, yes.
But he was talking about the destruction of Israel.
From the river to the sea. There we go.
That's what he was pushing.
Hamas's thing.
Yes. So know that it's being dressed up in a certain way and then delivered to you as, well, this is just a concerned citizen. The same thing is playing out in Texas. It's taken all of 24 hours for what we brought up to open up the show yesterday. James Taralico is a nut.
Yeah.
He is a far left loon, but he's been put together like he's youth group leader, Sunday Bible school camp. He's a Christian, and he's here to help. He's just a little bit less fanatical than anybody else on the Republican side. He's just doing it as a Democrat. This is what the game is for these midterms. It's you scratch the surface and you find out who these people are.
You always said take your values and use them against you. They're doing that, but they're weaponizing it in a way that you probably haven't seen before. Just like with the Marine uniform, how do we stir up people that support the military? And then with Talarico, how do we engage people on a biblical, something that they love and trust, a biblical level, but we're going to twist it and bastardize it?
Just as you're pointing out, and I'm glad that you've seen this so quickly, Tug, because I think this is one of the aspects that I'm going to talk about as we go through this season, and especially when it comes to people here. For instance, Raphael Warnock sold it to us as, well, he's a man of God.
Mm-hmm. Man of the cloth.
Then we heard from his ex-wife. We're going, well, maybe not. Maybe not so much.
And then his own actions.
John Ossoff has portrayed himself as, listen, I'm just kind of middle of the road guy. I'm just harmless. Listen, I'm here to represent Georgia. Yet you vote as hardcore with the Democrats on every single item that they ever come up with, even those that are not in the interest of the state of Georgia. So a lot of this is removing the veneer. It's removing the lie that's going to be sent to you because, for instance, if you and I see somebody in uniform and something happens to them, we're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is crazy.
And then you find out.
And that's everybody's reaction, which is why you do.
That was a natural reaction that I saw on X. Yeah. And all I wanted to keep pointing out was, do you know this is a game? Yeah, this is a game on their part.
Strategy. Definitely a strategy because they know they'll get people spun up. They know what buttons to push. And I looked up as far as Talarico goes, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, because I go to a Presbyterian church. And I was like, well, none of the things he says matches the things that are said at my church. None of them.
There's one that's now out there as of last night. Now, we'll get into some of these as far as he believes that there's 6 different sexes, 6 different genders.
Right.
The Anthony Fauci doll was my tipping point. But he actually gave a talk at a church when he talked about how prisons, like the idea of putting people in prison is violence. So there is no such thing as, wait a minute, if you have violated the 10 Commandments, which is what he tries to put forth initially, like I'm a believer in the 10 Commandments. So if you violate and society looks to punish you, the punishment is violence.
Yeah.
That's the wrong part. Yeah. That is as far left fanatical as it gets.
So I looked up his church. The church that I go to is Presbyterian. It is PCA, the Presbyterian Church in America, which is very Bible-based and very, traditional Christian doctrine. And then his church, St. Andrew's Episcopal in Austin, is PCUSA, which is the exact opposite. It is full of all of the stuff that he says. And like when I went to the church's website, the first thing I saw was like this rainbow flag wrapped around the cross. It was,
well, that's different.
Oh my, this is wow. How about this? So it tells you where at least the perspective is coming from for me, and that's important because I was like, and I hear it in our service where we go to church. They'll say, some topic will come up, and they're like, that's PCUSA. That's not the doctrine we follow. We follow straight from the good book.
So here is what I'm going to ask everyone, especially if you're part of the 4-Hour Club, if you heard this early, assume that everything being pushed to you during this election cycle is a total lie.
Yeah.
And make it a point as you check out the show and we start talking about these aspects. Look for it when you start hearing people discussing. You'll be around. They'll be like, "What, Taralico in Texas? He doesn't sound so bad."
Yeah, he's a good Christian man.
It's like, oh, no, you're going to get, I can't believe that the administration and the FCC and Donald Trump went after him. In fact, this was yesterday on MS Now. Now, we have covered this story to the point where everyone should know it. But if you don't, fine. I'm glad you're here. New listener, or you're just checking the show out. What occurred it was a Democrat game to get Jasmine Crockett out of Texas, to have her done in Texas.
The Democrats were done with her.
The Democrats did this. What happened was James Taralico was going on Stephen Colbert. This was going to be the big push. The lawyers for Colbert advised him, if you take this interview, Jasmine Crockett can legally ask for the same amount of time, and you have to put her on.
Colbert was not going to do that. He was not going to allow Jasmine that opportunity.
Because they were pushing Taralico. So what did they do? They decided not to air the interview they recorded. And then they decided to turn it into a fundraiser by which they said, well, the only reason we're not airing it is because the Trump administration didn't want us to air it. First off, that doesn't make any sense one bit at all. But that was the game they played. When I say
Smart marketing game, though.
When I say you're going to be lied to all the time, Tug, here is how MS Now covered that yesterday.
So here they try to keep Talarico off the show. What happens? They give him a boost. If you talk to Jasmine Crockett, she'll say the same thing. I was ahead until that controversy. So the very person they were trying to defeat, the very person whose message scared them, is the very person who they helped win this race. This just keeps happening over and over. They think they can game the system. They think that somehow they're going to be able to win. In the end, voters have the final say.
He knows better, too.
He knows better. Now, let's go ahead and take a small step back. Do you realize that for all of her bluster, Jasmine Crockett is actually the less crazy of the two?
Absolutely.
Because you know what doesn't fly in the black community? 6 genders, trans in schools, trans in bathrooms, all of that stuff that does not fly. And by the way, and this was a miscalculation on the Democrats' part, but they'll figure it out as we go. None of it flies in Texas either.
That's right. And that was the first, obviously being born and raised in Texas, that was the first thing. I was like, what is Los seeing? Have you heard from any of your family that lives there still, like, about this? Does it get discussed at all?
No, but and you got to understand, Texas it's a bigger version of the state of Georgia in that Dallas proper, Dallas County, blue. Houston, blue. Austin, blue. San Antonio, blue. Entire rest of the state, blood red.
Just like Georgia.
And so while the representatives that go to the House in the state of Texas, you're going to have Democrats basically holding the House. But nothing. In fact, I was looking at some of the numbers. So when you look at, when it comes to large races, governorship races, Senate races, most congressional races, the Republicans win almost every single thing in Texas because the rest of the state goes, the Republic of Austin, the People's Republic of Austin, will not determine what's going on here. And so Taralico is just an example of, well, this is as far left as I can be out here. Why don't I just try and dress it up differently?
Yeah,
and that's what I think is going to be sold to you over the next several months, that these far left people will be, and we saw this starting with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton 2 weeks ago. They're talking about border enforcement the way that I do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Well, because they can, right? They, at this level, they're saying, we're going to do... Dude, Spanberger did the same thing in Virginia.
And it won.
And it won. She wrapped herself in a moderate flag. She told everybody how moderate she was. All the messaging was moderate. And as soon as she was elected, she dropped that flag real quick. And now the people in Virginia are finding out. I mean, raising taxes, everything that she said she wasn't going to do, that's exactly what she's doing. Beware of the wolf in sheep's clothing. Beware. They say the devil knows the Bible better than anybody. And I believe that. when we continue on Extra 106.3. Let's go by the numbers. And our target, Christy Noam, 6 o'clock hour, is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett.
The Morning Extra has you covered until 10 a.m. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton at noon, and the Kimmer Show taking over at 3, only on Extra 106.3.
If you live in Georgia, you already see it. The cars are turning yellow. The pollen is here, and this year, with an earlier and warmer spring projected, it's hitting even sooner. But here's what matters most. It's not just what's outside. It's what your family is breathing inside. Your kids, your pets, you. Your HVAC system doesn't just control the temperature. It circulates the air throughout your entire home. And without proper filtration and purification, that air can carry pollen, dust, and allergens right through every room. Central specializes in whole home air purification systems. Advanced filtration, humidity control, and high-efficiency carrier systems are designed to support healthier indoor air. When you combine air purification technology with dependable carrier performance, you're creating a cleaner, more comfortable environment for the people who matter most. Right now, you can receive up to $1,700 in rebates plus 60 months 0% financing on qualified systems, making it easier to protect your home before allergy season peaks. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com today. Central Heating and Air, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
Hey, it's Kimmer. Let me ask you something. When you paid your health insurance bill this month, did you think, how am I supposed to keep paying this and I don't even use it? Feels like a waste of money. Well, that's where a lot of people are right now. It's too expensive, but you can't afford to not have it, so what are you supposed to do? Well, that's where my guy Steven comes in, the health insurance doctor. He does this every day. That's why they call him the health insurance doctor. He'll look at what you have and tell you straight if there's a better way. Here's an example. This is true. One family was paying over $3,000 a month. Now it's around $1,200 without sacrificing coverage. Does not happen for everybody, but shows it's possible. And yes, there are plans with PPO networks, no deductible options, year-round enrollment. Anybody can sit around and just complain about their premiums all year, but not everybody can do something about it. My friend Steven, health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. You could be saving money before you even know it. The health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off on your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hank Williams Jr. live Saturday, June 27th, Ameris Bank Amphitheater with special guest Sammy Kershaw. On sale Friday 10 a.m. at livenation.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, March 5th, and here are your headlines. The Israeli consulate in Atlanta is on heightened security alert as tensions escalate in the Middle East. Consul General Eitan Weiss say officials are working closely with the Atlanta Police Department, monitoring potential threats against Israeli and Jewish interests in the region. Officials say there's no credible threats in Atlanta at this time, but security precautions have been increased. The Georgia State Senate has advanced a bill aimed at guaranteeing public school students the right to protest and participate in political activities. Lawmakers say the proposal would strengthen students' First Amendment rights following recent walkouts at Metro Atlanta schools. And finally, a new immersive sports and entertainment venue called Cosm is set to open June 10th in downtown Atlanta's Centennial Yards District, with its first ticketed event scheduled the same night as Game 4 of the 2026 NBA Finals. The dome-style venue will use massive wraparound screens to create a stadium-like viewing experience for live sports and other events. It will be the third location to open across the United States. Today's weather is going to be a beautiful one with a high of 80 and a low of 59. With the Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
There is rumor out there, and it's being reported. Don't know if it'll happen, but that is the word on the street, if you will, that the Ayatollah Khomeini, who is killed, his son will be the next person to try to take the mantle. That's if he's able to make the meeting. Because lately that's not been going all that well with meetings in Iran. But it takes me to some things I saw, and it was Sunday into Monday. And I've seen them since, and they're getting passed around a lot. And I did think it was interesting because we were just talking about the way the mainstream media sets everything up. They set the premise. They talk about all of the things that seemingly, at least in my opinion, misses the point. Always. And usually I think it's by design. When they talked about the death of the Ayatollah Khomeini from the New York Times and the Washington Post, shows me that I don't despise what they do enough, and neither do you. The Washington Post described the Ayatollah with these strokes. Listen, they described his bushy beard and his easy smile.
Oh, like Santa?
Yeah, very much so.
Oh,
saying that he loved Persian poetry and even Western entertainment like Les Miserables.
Oh, we probably would have gotten along very well.
Wouldn't you think? The way they're talking about him, yeah. It seems like we would get along just fine.
I bet you he's very reasonable.
And then, you pull back that layer a little bit. And you go, didn't he just, like last month, kill 30,000 of his own people? Maybe that should be the lead. Maybe that should be the lead.
I mean, I get it. It's not Pol Pot. It's not even Chairman Mao. It's no Hitler. But long as we're stacking body counts on top of body counts in, let's say, the last 3 months, is there anybody who's ahead of Khomeini?
Man,
no.
I can reduce
Not in this world.
I can reduce it down to, I don't know, a baseball analogy. Like, what is the first thing that people would say about Pete Rose?
He cheated on baseball.
That's the first thing out of the gate.
Then he's the all-time hits leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheating on baseball.
Does it matter that the Ayatollah liked Persian poetry? Of course, he's Persian. No, yeah, okay. Does it matter that he liked Les Mis? No. He killed 30,000 people last month. That's the lead. And yet they're willing to bury it.
I asked the question, who killed him? And by the time you get to the answer of Donald Trump, now you'll have your answer as to why. This is written the way it is.
It's unreal, though, Los.
It's for their audience.
But
it's for their audience.
They're losing it by the day. Seems like they would take a different tact if they're physically firing people at the Washington Post because their
the Washington Post is going away in the same way. Like, for instance, we talk about here locally, the AJC.
Yeah, firing people left and right.
It's not even a paper product anymore, okay? It's on the way out. Whereas us, remember, radio's going away. No, radio is adapted. We're now multimedia. You want us on YouTube, you want us in podcast form, you want us over the air, we're able to do that. You know what newspaper can't do? Any of that. They're going away. It's going away. Now, what is happening to leftist broadcast networks? They are losing so much revenue and doing so poorly ratings-wise and being able to secure advertisement that actually you now have, when it comes to investment, you have investment companies, private owners, you have people that are rolling in, buying it and going, if I just clean it up a little bit and center the message, I can actually make money. The far left, it can't be sold anymore. The far left had, their height was like 2016 to 2020 during the first Trump administration, whenever they were able to stoke everything into Russian collusion and this guy's going to get you killed from COVID and all the things that they pushed. And then when you got a dose of reality from 2021 to 2024, 2025,
gone.
Watch them blow up.
NBC had to shed their own name off of their network, MSNBC, because they want to sell that property And it's got such bad ratings. No one watches it except the 18% of people on the left that have lost their ever-loving minds. My sweet Aunt Peg, whom I love dearly, she is their P1. She is the person that watches and consumes them more than anything else. NBC is so embarrassed of it because it's doing so poorly. They wanted to take the NBC brand off of it before they sold it. We have to get our name off of this failed product. We'll call it MS Now. Nothing has changed on the network, and the network is still doing very poorly. So good luck finding a buyer. CNN. We talked about Scott Jennings earlier. He's the bright spot. CNN's least favorite son, Los, is their bright spot. The one that they want to be the least successful. They stack him in a room full of 5 other people, all with the same ideology, the same politics coming at him, just guns a-blazing, and he is able to just put them off and keep them at bay with logic and reason. He is their least favorite person on the network, and he's the only reason the network is surviving.
Let me tell you about audience and situation, because we do the only all conservative radio station in the state of Georgia. How have we been the little engine that could, the little engine that can? It's because content-wise, we're delivering what audiences want. I'll bring up the New York Times. The New York Times is in the heart of a liberal mecca. They have 12 million subscribers worldwide. Locally, in New York, they have 750,000 subscribers, which is not a great number, but still, that's what they got. Do you know the AJC total has 115,000? As it delivers in a red state predominantly with a blue city. And they think to themselves, well, we're kind of stuck. We're trying to preach to an audience that's getting ever smaller and doesn't represent the rest of the state. But if we're going to hold on to 100,000 subscribers, that's what we got to do.
And my thing is
100,000.
If you had somebody that had half a brain that went, hey, what if we centered this message and we added 100,000? Boy, wouldn't that be something? But they can't.
Except the level of intolerance for the middle or for the right.
They can't.
Would cause their actual subscribers to leave.
And then I believe, as those people left, that center-right message, or even just dead down the middle, give both sides. Have the lefty loony and have the person on the right, and have their articles compete. And then create the audience that way. So you make up for the people that you eventually lose for not being completely hard left.
I just wonder why, and, credit to a guy like Ben, when you have a newspaper that's trying to at least every now and then give you all right, we're going to give you a center-right-ish type of opinion on this. So Ben Burnett gets a chance to deliver that with the AJC. And then they're going to give you some left stuff, and they try to lay it out there that way. I get that they're trying to grow in that regard.
But that's like 1 versus 10, though.
Right. That's the, and it's not. And not now that I don't want it because I'm too busy writing other stuff. But if it was me, I'd be the most hated man in all of Atlanta. Now it's like half.
Right.
But it would clearly be all by the time you and I have joked around about it. If you put us on PMS now, and we just told it like it is for an hour each night, it'd be the most popular show, and people would hate watch.
They would freaking bring bazookas to blow up their TVs.
The death threats would be so massive.
They would blow up their TVs.
Why do you have these 2 jokers on?
Because you're watching.
Because we're telling it like it is.
And you're watching. And so is everybody else. I agree with you, 100%. But they're not willing to do that. And it's so surprising how easy the fix is. And yet their ideology will not allow them to fix it at all. They would rather sink like an Iranian warship than make the adjustment and fly high. That's what the left does every time.
You bring up the Iranians. Can I give you some more numbers?
Please do.
I'll be all right as long as there's light from a math dude. Most people don't like math. They run from the sun.
All right, we're going to feature Anna Paulina Luna.
Oh, Angel Face.
Angel Face.
But the numbers tell the
Whenever she joins us, you know we're going to have to start off with that, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be like, we have a nickname for you. It's Angel Face.
And we love you.
And in part,
We think you're so pretty.
well, there's that, but it's just because she will say things, but she's doing it behind this exterior where you go, she was really just mean there, but it doesn't, I mean, she didn't look mean.
There's no way that she can be mean. It's impossible.
Like, you're too friendly, nice looking to be mean. That was mean. And that stings a little bit more. Like, you ever had a pretty girl tell you something mean?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I have.
It's different, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. So I want to play for you this piece of audio. This was Anna Paulina Luna as she's explaining that if you just look at it in terms of since the 1970s, when Iran went to the mullahs and the original Ayatollah Khomeini, who was in charge, how many Americans that you've had killed at the hands of Iranians and their terrorism. For instance,
proxies, yeah.
You can talk about the barracks that have been hit around the Middle East. You can talk about the embassies that have been hit. But most notably, once we get to Iraq and the Iraq War, not Desert Storm, but the Iraq War during the global war on terrorism, when we started to lose soldiers in the field to the IEDs, that was done by Iranian equipment and Iranian people that were creating those bombs and setting those bombs in order to hurt, maim, kill Americans. Somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 in total. So the numbers that she's going to give, they are legitimate.
Look, I think in any form of conflict, there's going to be a risk, but I want to be very clear that Iran has been responsible for killing thousands of Americans over the last 40 years. As a result of what the president decided to do while operating within his Article 2 authorities, you know, I don't know if many people know this, but they already tried to assassinate the president. They've already killed Americans, and they're specifically in the southern belt region of Iran, their missile program was a direct threat to our service members, and as you are seeing, they are now actively engaging, seeking to not just hit the United States, but their neighboring countries, over 9 of them, as a result of this. And so, I mean, they're obviously going to be hitting back, but let's be clear, we were trying to negotiate. They were stubborn. They were completely arrogant. They would not agree to eliminating their nuclear enrichment program, even though we offered to give them a permanent supply of nuclear fuel for energy. And so this is a result of their poor leadership. I think at any point, as Secretary Rubio stated yesterday, the United States is willing to continue those negotiations, but that would be up to them.
This has not changed. If you go back to 1983 and the Beirut attack on the barracks there, it killed 241 U.S. servicemen, including 220 Marines. We can then fast forward all the way to October 7th. That was the Iran-backed attack from Hamas. Spent the money, gave them the equipment. 46 Americans were killed on October 7th. This is not new. They've done this for the better part of 40 years.
It's what terrorists do, man.
It's what they do.
And to see, I keep going back to this, and I just think it's extraordinary. You would have expected that those Middle Eastern countries, those Gulf states, would just sit this one out, right? We can't fight against Iran. We can't. And yet they've done the exact opposite. They've signed up. They said, yes, we want to help. We want the targeting. We want to be able to fight back. We're tired of being shot at. And when you compare, Los, how much Iran has shot at their neighbors at this point, compare that to what Israel has put up with since they've been in existence, those are stratospheres apart. Can you imagine how the Israelis feel on a daily basis?
This is a 30-year-old strategy. When we had the Gulf War during the early 90s, and when we had the invasion of Kuwait to push the Iraqi army back into Iraq. Now, we could have rolled on Baghdad if we wanted to, but here was what the mission was. Get them out. This is what we're doing. If you remember, Saddam Hussein, in order to try and create a regional conflict, started shooting Scud missiles over at Israel with the goal that would somehow get Israel to retaliate. Now, we had our, if you remember, the Patriot missile defense system.
Of course, we still use them.
That's what we were using in order to shoot down those Scuds, and that was how we told the Israelis, don't get involved. Because if you get involved, this becomes a different sort of conflict, and the rest of the Middle East might join in. We had to ask for restraint from them. It's odd that the Iranians have decided to shoot at the rest of their neighbors in some sort of wild belief that maybe the rest of them will come to their aid.
I'm going to shoot you, so you're going to come help me.
It's madman stuff. It's crazy person stuff. It's the kind of crazy person stuff that when you sit in front of Steve Witkoff, as we played the audio earlier in the show, that you're bragging about your level of uranium enrichment. Like you're not begging the Americans and the Israelis to come hit you.
And they finally learned the lesson that bragging, maybe, when we were growing up, being a person that was good at what you did and being confident, that was one thing, but bragging on yourself, that was just not something that you did. It was discouraged in my home, and I discouraged it with my kid, raising him. For them to do something so bad, to invite what's happened to them, all while thumbing the nose while you're doing it, the addition just doesn't add up, man. How crazy insane do you have to be?
And keep in mind, ethnically, the Iranians, especially those in power, they're Persians. They're only 2% Arab in their country. They're more than 80% that are Persian and Persian of the like and Persian cousins. So they're looking at the rest of the Middle East in terms of, well, we'll hit the rest of you Arabs since you won't do this.
That's right.
There's a weird...
It's an odd dynamic.
Weird situation there.
To see those Gulf states rallying behind Israel, as a guy that served along with, beside the Israelis in my time in the Navy, I never in a million years thought I would see this day. I never thought I would see this day. It just seems so unlikely, and yet it's exactly what's happened. Donald Trump has been a master. Like him or not, hate him or not, whatever you feel about him, he has been a master at taking his enemies and making them allies. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's really impressive. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 1063 when we come back. You're probably getting your kids ready, getting ready to get out the door, get them on the bus, go to carpool, some of those things. You've seen this with Jimmy Kimmel. Has it happened like this in your life too? Have you lost a relationship over politics? It's happening a lot. Next on Extra.
Extra 1063 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, March 5th. The Atlanta Hawks are now over 500 after a 131-113 beatdown of the Milwaukee Bucks on the road last night as the Hawks rebounded from a rough first quarter to blow out the Bucks. Onyeka Okongwu with 21 points and 8 rebounds. Jalen Johnson chipped in a 20-point effort, grabbing 5 rebounds as well. The Hawks are back in action Saturday night at home as they host the Philadelphia 76ers. From college football, coaching legend Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. Holtz led Notre Dame to their last national championship during the 1988 season. Holtz was 249, 132, and 7 during his coaching career, including stops at NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina. Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
At the Honest Car Guy, the entire process is completely transparent. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee, and we even prove it by giving you a copy of the bill of sale. We can sell you any make, any year, any model, and at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
You've worked hard to build your investments, but are they positioned the right way from a tax perspective? Because it's not just what you make, it's what you keep. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Many investors don't realize that their portfolios may be creating unnecessary tax exposure. Capital gains, required minimum distributions, inefficient account placement can quietly reduce your returns, especially as you approach retirement. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we help clients evaluate whether their investments are structured in a tax-efficient way, looking beyond performance to understand how taxes impact income today and your legacy tomorrow. Are your assets in the right accounts? Are there opportunities to to reduce further tax liability. Is your strategy aligned with your long-term retirement goals? Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 678-990-8500. Schedule a complimentary review. That's 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management, helping you keep more of what you've worked so hard to build.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagen was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagen, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagen. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagen-law.com.
Lou Holtz, the legendary college football coach who led the University of Notre Dame to the 1988 National Championship, has passed away at the age of 89.
My priorities was my faith, my family, and then football.
Holtz won 249 games as a collegiate head coach, with 100 of those victories earned at Notre Dame from 1986 through 1996. He led the Irish to the 1988 National Championship with a 12-0 record, capped by a victory over West Virginia in the 1989 Fiesta Bowl. During his career, he also coached at William & Mary, North Carolina State, Arkansas, Minnesota, and the New York Jets before arriving at Notre Dame in 1986. He is the only college football coach to lead 6 different programs to bowl games. He will be forever remembered as an affable yet spicy character whose purpose in life was to win.
All the great teams overcome adversity. Adversity is what we look for.
We remember Lou Holtz.
Democracy 2026.
The complaint from Virginia Republicans is new Governor Abigail Spanberger campaigned like a moderate but is governing from the far left. Spanberger is backing a plan from Democrats to redraw the congressional map, seeking to hold 10 out of Virginia's 11 congressional seats, while the current split is 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley, who is being threatened by redistricting in California, called for change on CNN's The Lead.
Pass redistricting reform so we don't have gerrymandering. I think those two things together could form a viable bipartisan deal.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is defending his party.
Democrats are going to fight for a fair national congressional map.
If the Democrats' plan survives legal challenges, the next step would be having Virginians vote on the proposal on April 21st. Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
The post office is not fixed. The post Tell office. Tell me how you're going to vote for someone who said, this is going to be my one thing. I'm going to focus in on the post office. We're going to get it fixed.
I pay attention.
And he didn't get it fixed. Why would you vote for that?
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I think Donald Trump, I said it at the end of that last segment, that Donald Trump does a great job of making his enemies allies. He's done it in the Middle East. You see those countries, those Gulf states that are rallying behind the American and Israeli cause and balking at the Iranians. I want to do that in my own life. I would make the enemies your allies. Matter of fact, I can't say that I call him an enemy by any means, but Liberal John, who calls in the 9, I've invited him to go to lunch. We're going to try to go to lunch nice next week sometime. And I asked Bryce, I was like, hey, can you get his number? I would love to just figure out who he is because he calls all the time. I never had a chance to meet him. Wanted to.
I hope y'all hook up.
Hi, Johnny. How you doing? Can I get you a burger?
That'll make it very awkward. Yeah. It'll be funny for the show.
It would be. It would be.
Then we made Sweet Love in the Orange Deck.
It was nuts.
I bet you didn't think we were going that direction with that one.
I don't know how I'm going to tell my wife, Los.
He started telling me about socialized medicine, and I fell in love.
I was like, caress me. Hold me, sir.
Tell me about this cradle to grave and then hold me.
Yeah, that's right. I never have to be responsible for anything. This is great. Bend over.
I think it's a cool thing.
No, it is.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. But 4 and 10 say they've lost someone or someone stopped talking to them permanently because of politics. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen with my sweet Aunt Peg, who is as left, good Lord, she's nuts. And sometimes I have to excuse myself from the table because she gets so nuts.
The most far left out there person that I would say that I've worked with and that I'm friends with. She's raising money for blood cancer research because that's how she lost her father.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately I was like, where do I donate?
Yeah, of course. But I think that's the difference in our side and theirs, is that
I don't deal in these absolutes. Like, you have to wrong me personally.
Yeah.
I don't care what your politics are. I'm just going to tell you you're wrong or you're misled, but I don't look at you.
Yeah,
and
but it doesn't make me not like you anymore.
It's the same reason why when I listen to an artist or anything else and I say, yeah, I can put it in a different box. Like, here's the art. I like the art. The person? Yeah. And I always go back to the same thing. Whenever anyone says, like, for instance, Eminem. Okay. Criticize Donald Trump. Play a song. How can you listen to him? Well, because I get to cancel out his votes. What do I care?
Right on.
And he's got millions and millions and millions, and yet my vote and his count the same. So what am I concerned?
Yeah, no, all good. For me, like, I get irritated if I have to see it over and over. Music doesn't, like, what they say doesn't always show up in the music. Like when the NFL, when I quit watching, I was just like, ugh. Enough with all the messages on the field, and every time I watch it,
it was beating you over the head. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
As long as it's not that, I can deal with it for the most part.
Sure, I don't care what the politics of my quarterback is.
That's right.
That was just a time period where you couldn't get away from it. It was just hitting you over the head that you're a bad person, and you're a bad person, and here's how we're going to make you a better person.
All the time. It didn't matter that Matt Ryan was different politically. I didn't care. And I love your example because my vote counts the same as his.
Yes.
And he's a multimillionaire and on TV every
Doesn't
day.
matter.
Doesn't matter. But in the past 2 years, have you ever not shared your opinion because you're afraid of being punished in some way? Half the country, according to Frank Luntz, says yes. Half the country has said, no, I can't say what's on my mind because I'm afraid of the thing that happens afterwards, the repercussions.
That's why Orlando and being at the pool was so funny this past weekend. If you missed the story, it's after we played 3 matches, had a really good day, got like 15 parents down at the pool, but all the women leave to go get ready for dinner and get the kids ready for dinner. And now it's just like 4 of the dads and my dad. And we started talking about this Iranian bombing. And my dad starts going into his liberal stuff. And I look at him and I go, I'm just going to let you know right now, you're at the wrong table for this. And the other dads are kind of nodding like, well, I'm glad that you were able to put him in his place because I didn't want to do it. And my point was, I'm glad that my dad does that because then he finds out how wrong he is amongst regular dudes.
That's right.
Like he wasn't embarrassed, but it kind of put him in his place. That
if nothing else, it made him go,
oh, maybe I am the minority of thought. And yes, you are.
You're at the 18%.
Amongst grown men.
Yeah.
This is how we were actually thinking.
I had a guy, not that I was super friends with, but I was acquainted with. And I think I've told you this before. That dude doesn't talk to me anymore because of this show, because I do this show. Just won't speak to me. Like, I could, like, if we passed each other on the street and I said, hey, good morning, I don't know that he would speak. He would just keep walking. It's that kind of mentality that the left has. And I'm sure it exists somewhere on the right. But there's a reason we invite Liberal John onto the show. There's a reason that I want to go to lunch with the guy. I'm okay with having a differing opinion.
We've played the videos in the past, and I think you really got to see them when you will have, and oftentimes they are black influencers that whether they have a stream, whether they have a Twitch channel, whether they have a YouTube, where they have been told, if you go to a MAGA rally, here's how it's going to be. And they'll walk around.
And it's the exact opposite.
And within about 5 minutes, they're like, these people are actually really chill.
Yeah, right.
It's like they're actually welcoming me and hanging. And you know what? If we have a difference of opinion, they're like, by all means, cool.
Right
have a difference of opinion.
Here's a beer.
Here's a beer.
Yeah. We're tailgating.
Sit down and talk about it.
They're tailgating at Trump rallies like it's a freaking
right. Whereas the left lives in these absolutes.
I know. Dude, it is crazy to see that operation.
I've told the story before. I have a good family friend of ours, and we were having this discussion when it came to the issue with children that start talking about having a trans identity and how oftentimes it's tied to a diagnosis of autism. They haven't been through puberty, and this is the sort of stuff that goes on. And when this person brought this up with me, they were expecting to get like some sort of whatever the caricature of like right-wing thinking is. And I brought up, here's what the autism numbers, here's what the science is saying about this. The child needs to go through puberty here. And the look on this person's face of, why hasn't anybody else said this to me? Because all that's preached on her side is, well, go get their genitals chopped off.
You need to be prepared to cut them up.
Right. Whereas this person is looking at this, who's now looking at the science of it, who has done a lot of the research and is hoping that this research is correct. When they start hearing it from me, who's supposed to be the hardcore right-winger.
Oh, I know.
And I'm the one who's actually diving into the information. That was very surprising to that person because they thought I was just going to tell them, well, they need to go find Jesus. It's like, no, there's something more here. Now, if you can do that after that, hey.
Finding Jesus is a really good thing.
You're going to be in a good place. But for the time being, when you're this age, going to be a little bit more difficult.
Absolutely. No, I don't know.
I just think that we get characterized in a certain way that it's bland and boring and simple, and here's how it is, and these are the only answers they got.
Well, the crazy thing is, I'll take bland and boring all day long, but I just want somebody that will communicate. I want somebody that will talk through, and not get huffy puppy, not get pissed off. Just be like, hey, here's the way I see it. And I can say, here's the way I see it. And it's okay that it's different. I only see that on our side. My sweet Aunt Peg, her and her cadre of friends on Facebook, you would think that they run the world. And if they had the chance, we'd all be in trouble.
If you have a recent college grad and they're struggling for work or they're trying to determine what direction they're going to go and they come to me, I would start saying, well, have you considered some of the trade school options? These are very affordable. Here are some of the options. Now, that's what I would say. The way the left characterizes me is if you came to me and asked the same question, I'm going to go like, well, I'm just going to pray for you. That's the way they characterize me.
Right, of course.
Right, as in I don't have a level of three-dimensional thinking.
Right. Dude, I don't know why they're that way. The loving left, the people that tell you that they're open to everything except your thing. It's always that way. ICE protesters have changed from ICE now to Iran. The American people, however, have not changed their minds at all. Next on Extra.
The Morning Extra. Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson. The biggest lineup of conservative voices in the South are on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Truist Park is waiting for you, Braves country. Baseball is back, and so are your Atlanta Braves. The opening homestand of the 2026 season begins March 27th through the 29th as the Kansas City Royals come to town for opening weekend. The homestand begins with 2 gate giveaways, a magnetic schedule powered by Georgia Power, plus a rally towel presented by Racetrack to bring the energy to the home opener atmosphere on Friday, March 27th. Then on Sunday, March 29th, it's the first Kids Club giveaway of the year. The first 3,000 kids through the gates will receive a Ronald Acuna Jr. chenille cap, and families can enjoy exciting pregame activities inside Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Park. The excitement continues March 30th through April 1st as the Athletics visit Truist Park, and tickets start at just $10. Plus, fans can score a Drake Baldwin NL Rookie of the Year bobblehead on March 31st, presented by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need, including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPsETC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
I'm Rick Jackson. My dad abandoned us. My mom was an alcoholic, so I left the projects. Shoe shining, ticket scalping, vacuum sales. I found purpose in work and built a $3 billion business. Like President Trump, I don't owe anybody anything. And like you, I'm sick of career politicians. I'm running for governor to lead America in criminal deportations, to cut income taxes in half, Freeze our insane property taxes. Reform the system so that anyone who can work will work, and not just sit around binge watching Netflix and eating Cheetos. I'll let law enforcement do their job. And if you're caught helping a child change their sex, you're going to jail. I'm Rick Jackson, and I'll get these done. Paid for by Jackson for Governor, Inc.
Neil Bortz is live every day on Extra 106.3.
Zoran Mamdani in New York does not like voter ID. But if you want to shovel snow, you have to show up with 2 original photo IDs, 2 new photos, and you have to present your social security card. So in New York, no ID to vote, but you must have several IDs to shovel snow.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3.
A new threat from Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After the U.S. sank a warship in international waters with a torpedo, Iran's foreign minister posted on social media today the U.S. will come to bitterly regret the precedent set, calling it an atrocity at sea.
Abbas Araghchi says the vessel was a guest of the Indian Navy and was attacked without warning. Meanwhile, a senior Iranian cleric has appeared on state TV to call for the shedding of blood from Israelis and President Trump. Still no official word on who'll be selected as the Islamic Republic's new supreme leader.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, Iran did launch more missiles into Israel this morning that were shot down. There are reports of explosions in Qatar and Bahrain. As the U.S. and Israel keep up the attacks, Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
A senior Israeli official telling Fox News today over the phone that the regime is now having trouble communicating and coordinating as Israeli and American strikes go after the IRGC leadership structure and the entire mechanism of repression. It's referred to the organization that cracked down on protesters earlier this year.
Now, Democrats keep trying to limit President Trump in Iran.
In their blind hatred of the president, just being opposed to anything that he wants to do.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as Republicans blocked a war powers resolution the House will vote on today. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Regime change wars have never worked out for the American people. And of course, thousands of lives.
Oil prices are rising more. Another 6-cent increase also at the gas pump. AAA's national average for regular $3.25 per gallon this morning, up 26 cents in 3 days. Well, in a new Fox News poll,
37% rating the U.S. economy as poor, while 7% describe it as excellent and 23% as good. More than half of those polled, 57%, rating their personal finances as only fair or poor.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin, and the approval rating for President Trump only at 43% in that poll. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
I wake up every morning with the Morning Xtra.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. Let's go some Quiet Riot early.
So my idea on this show is come Friday, like once a month, you need to let me deep dive into a conspiracy theory, especially ones that have been proven to be correct.
Dude, I love and at this point, take your choice. Which one hasn't been proved to be correct?
That's my hope. That's my goal.
Let's do it, dude. I don't know why. Let's write it down.
Let's have a conspiracy Friday.
Yes.
Like 9:25 on Friday.
Yes.
Let's
I
get
love
to
this.
dive into some deep, crazy conspiracy. It's my version of the Y-Files, except rather than debunking it at the end, I go,
I'm going to prove it.
And it's all been proven now.
It's like Coast to Coast AM during the day. Instead
what a fun thing that was.
That was really, because early on this station aired Coast to Coast AM overnight.
Art Bell.
Yeah, man. And then George Norrie after that. Gosh, what a cool show. And to be honest, when I was working up in Chattanooga, I would drive home because I was 7 to midnight, right? That was my night show. And so I would work a couple hours after the show, and I was driving home, and it was in the middle of the night. And I always found myself to after midnight, and you just couldn't help it. It was just one of those great shows, and George Norrie and Art Bell and all the things. Sometimes I would just roll my eyes, but it was so entertaining and so interesting that I would listen. And then there was those that were like, oh, wait. They'd be talking about whatever, something related to Christ or the Bible and the Shroud of Turin. I don't know. And I would be dialed in and listen the entire way home.
See, Bryce, what he's done is he's taken my idea of Conspiracy Friday, and now he's turned it into Coast to Coast with Art Bell, which had like the craziest people in all of radio that were calling in. He's reduced my idea.
Oh, no, that's not.
Don't worry, I've already been Googling names back here to
see
come
what
up
he's
with
been doing.
That's not at all what I'm doing.
For instance, the documents that came out on MK Ultra. If we ever did a deep dive on like a Conspiracy Friday into MK Ultra, it would blow your mind because now we know what our government was doing as far as mind control.
Sure.
To the point where they actually figured out ways that you could create unsuspecting assassins.
But like you're acting like Coast to Coast AM isn't reputable, and like
it's very reputable.
Yeah, I think it is.
They had a line for time travelers to call into.
I'm not saying all of it. I didn't say everything, but a lot of the things they would talk about was
sure there was some stuff based loosely on fact and discussion off of that.
Do you believe that time travel could be possible?
Theoretically, it's possible. But I don't know if we've actually been able to accomplish that.
Nor do I. I don't have any idea. That was the stuff I would roll my eyes at.
Einstein proved theoretically it is possible, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, so I didn't think that those people were just, some of them were off the rockers, mainly the callers. But I felt like George Norrie and Art Bell, I felt like those guys were well-researched and well-read. I had a lot of respect for them.
For this audience, you have to recognize this. The reason why I'm able to do this job in the way that I do is because you indulge me in the fun stuff that I want to get into. Because 95% of the stuff I have to get into, I'm like, that is dark, that is deep, there's a lot of research to go into.
Sure.
So just give me a little bit of that room to have fun with the cool, fun stuff of government.
That's exactly right. And there's a bunch of it out there.
I'm not telling you that the Yeti is out there, but he may be out there.
See, but that's Coast to Coast AM right there.
Can we call it Tinfoil Friday?
Yes, that's it.
Once again, a reduction, sir.
Or just Foil Friday.
Foil Friday's not bad.
That way you have to be part of the 4-hour club to know what we're doing.
I want to do
Friday Files.
I want to do one on Plum. Okay, thank you. That's better.
The Friday Files. I like that.
Because I want to do one on Plum Island.
Offended, man. He's ready to come in there.
That's right.
He's ready to come after you, Bryce.
Here you go, Bryce. Oh, Tinfoil Friday.
Well, but the thing is,
it's called with your host, Looney Bin Los. Straight from the straight jacket. Here's where he's going to give you the information. No, Plum Island's fascinating. Now that we're getting more of these government files.
We just discussed the whole creation of Lyme disease.
And it was long discussed of what was going on Plum Island, just off the East Coast, and some of the research that had been done. Now, we know documented what was being checked in, what was being done. There was bioweapons associated to animals. And now we have declassified government documents that are saying, yeah, that's exactly what they were doing, and we messed up, and some of it got out.
And Dr. Robert Malone, the fact
he covers it in an article.
He's covering it.
So Friday.
That is the next level of credibility, man. That's above Art Bell and George Norrie.
We're starting with Plum Island.
I love it.
Tomorrow.
Because I told you there was a time.
I'll work on some production for it.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, I'll try and figure out something.
Well, no, we should create our own. Get us,
let's see what Bryce can do.
Looney Bin Los.
I'll work on it tonight.
I'm kidding. Totally.
Hey,
joking.
you have to sit right next to me.
You said it. You're the one that said it. I just repeated it.
Sorry, I give away all the best ideas.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love it. So that is coming tomorrow, 9:25. And
if you want us to cover any certain ones in particular, hit us up. I'll do the research.
Did you call it the Friday Files? Is that what you call it? Yeah, the Friday Files.
I just think once a month.
No, I say every Friday.
Well, it's covering a lot of different conspiracies, but...
Well, but let's say that we do the deep dive once a month, and then we'll have just like maybe
I want to hit the ones that are, especially now, that so many aspects of what's been out there on the fringe, especially when it comes to, for instance, bioweapons. You realize that when we were talking about COVID having gotten out of a lab, how much of a cover-up that had gone on with Fauci and so many of the rest of the doctors of we can't let this information get out there.
And
their memos said as much.
That's what his emails said to his personal
emails
email.
And basically your funding will be pulled, basically, if you were to ever have this information. So when we were talking about it, well, that was conspiracy theory. It's like, no, it wasn't. It makes the most sense. It's Occam's razor.
And surely now everybody realizes
Now everybody
that.
gets it.
But, well, except for the 18%. You're never going to convince them of anything.
It came out of a wet market.
They're still. I would
pathogen that has never been seen in the history of man.
There's a little bit of me that, because I never start conversations after that last segment, I never start conversations with Aunt Peg about politics or things like this because she'd lose her mind and melt down. But there's that little bit of me that would love to know what she actually thinks.
I think you would, if you had a checklist, like one of them would be, did COVID originate out of a
lab in Wuhan?
Lab or a wet market?
Bat.
And you just, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And you just check the list. And we do it as a number system.
Yeah.
If at a certain point, if you ask the 10 questions and 7 of them happen to be on this side, then you're nuts.
Yeah.
If 6 of them happen to be on the other side, you're good.
You're easing toward good.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. Let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high. Man, we got the story, no time for a lie.
This is going to hurt.
Put a boot in.
Here comes that boot.
There it is. Of the morning.
Tug and Los, hanging out with you. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. If you would like to get into the conversation, how do you feel about the changes that are happening with the protesting in America?
I think it's been it's been worth noting. I think it's pretty interesting that now that we are a country that is currently in day 6 of this action. Now, I hesitate to call it war. This is an operation.
Sure, I'm with you.
This is not full.
I've called it war and I've called it up. I've called it both. I don't know that I.
It's an operation.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't know that average everyday Joe thinks about it through that specific.
I guess if you wanted to say, is it possible to have a 2-week war? Well, yeah.
Yeah, the 12-day war.
You can have such things that do occur. Once we're now in a conflict, you now have this change that is going on where the idea of looking at immigration, it's almost like we've closed ranks even harder. As in the American people are saying, hey, we're dealing with this stuff over here with these crazy fanatics. We don't need any more in our backyard.
And then the terrorist in Austin did nothing more than solidify that feeling.
Which we could barely talk about because of everything that's gone on, that you actually had a terrorist in Austin who wore a property of Allah pullover and then proceeded to go shoot up basically a bar/nightclub.
Screaming Allah Akbar.
Yeah.
But you've noticed that these protests against ICE have basically disappeared, and the ones that have popped up are the pro-Iran, pro-Ayatollah weird protests that nobody seems to understand. It has not changed, though they've changed the hat that they wear, and that's the way Los has described it, man. What are we doing today? You got to put on the right hat. You got to make sure you're got your uniform lined up.
They have to find the most passionate argument for the time and then play into that. It's the reason why you don't have a lot of climate change ones going on now that the left has generally abandoned that as far as their primary financiers. You don't have anything in terms of the Me Too movement. That's not going on anymore. So they move on to what's the next passionate issue that we can try and create faux energy around.
And that is the Ayatollah thing that you're seeing that's financed out of China. Roy Sigmund, a billionaire that lives in China, committed communist, though he's American, lives in Beijing, I believe. He's the one that is spending a lot of the money on a lot of these protests. And they've changed their hat now from ICE to Iran, but it hasn't changed what the American people feel. A Harvard-Harris poll, Harvard University, not the bastion of conservatism by any means. A Harvard-Harris poll tells us that though the protests have changed, the American people are still resolute that they want illegal immigrants sit home. And the number? It's exactly the same as it used to be. 57%. How long has it been 57%, Los? Seemingly forever.
Since January of 2025. The numbers have not changed. In fact, the only number that has changed that's worth pointing out and noting is that the numbers have strengthened in terms of if you've committed a crime in this country. It used to be at about 80%. Then it's now turned to about 86, 87%. Say if you've committed a crime while you've been in this country, you've got to go. But in general, in terms of everybody has to go, it has basically lived 56, 57, 58% the entire time.
And it hadn't budged.
Hasn't budged.
Harvard had to tell you the truth. And I'm sure they set up this polling, to figure out a way to manipulate it, because that's the way it always happens, right? Or they'll do the polling in Los Angeles or New York City or wherever this bastion, Austin or someplace like that. They do that hoping to skew the polling. And yet, it's still not changing.
Numbers not altering.
It never does. And then get this, 63% of folks, according to the Harvard-Harris poll, said they would love to draft a law that would bar commercial driver's license being given to illegals. They don't want this thing happening. They don't want truck drivers on the road that can't read English. They don't want those trucking jobs, because that's a big part of it too. They don't want those trucking jobs going to illegal immigrants in the United States. They want it to go to Americans or people that are here legally.
So I had a moment. I was grabbing a sandwich for my daughter yesterday, and there was somebody who came in, and they were clearly working for one of the food delivery services, and it was clear they couldn't speak English. In fact, they were having to ask and put stuff on their phone and have the
Google
person
Translate.
working. Yeah. And then I watched them hop back in the car and take off. And my only thought was, well, I'm glad it's not a bigger vehicle.
Right.
Because if you cannot even get a sandwich, okay, if you cannot even get a hold of a sandwich, why would I put you in charge of a giant rocket on the highways?
I remember telling my son Jacob, I was like, you realize when he started driving when he was 16, I've told you the scariest day of my life as a parent was the day he backed out of our driveway by himself for the first time. He's turned into a great driver. He's had no issues, got one speeding ticket that was over last summer. But, I mean, that's it. That's been the worst of the worst. And I'm very happy with that. But that's as I used to tell him, this is a 2,000-pound weapon. You realize if you're not serious, it's no different than a gun. The gun sitting on the table can't do anything. You picking up the gun all of a sudden can.
Yeah, you add your level of irresponsibility to it.
Same way with a car. It is no different. It's the same concept. If it's sitting in the driveway, nothing can happen. It's going to just sit there. If you open up the accelerator and you're doing 100 miles an hour down 400, all of a sudden that is a weapon. That is something that can get you and somebody else killed, and it must be treated as such.
And I'm surprised that number is as low as 63%, considering how many public incidents we've had that have made its way into the mainstream, that's made its way into the zeitgeist of, really? California, Minnesota, Illinois, you were issuing CDL licenses to people who couldn't read English?
Yeah.
What kind of reduction do we have in terms of the importance of truck drivers on the road? I mean, these are the people that make America go, and you decided that in this case, you don't need to be capable of reading signs, speaking English?
It's no longer a 2,000-pound weapon. I don't know what an 18-wheeler weighs. But we're probably 10 times the
We're
regular.
going 20-ton weapon.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
And if you look at the countries that they're coming from, too, the road laws are completely different in the way they drive. Like, if you look even at, like, India, for example, I mean, that's bumper-to-bumper traffic where they're bumping into each other in the cities.
All the time. That was one of the most eye-opening thing for me, Los, when I was in the Navy, is driving in other countries, because we would have basically a runner for the ship. If somebody needed to be picked up, if somebody needed to be taken somewhere for a meeting, whatever, figuring out how to drive in those countries was just nerve-wracking.
The 2 times I've been terrified in a ride, that's never been Uber. It was in cabs, one in Mexico, one in Jamaica. And both times,
you're like,
we are not getting out of this thing.
We're not going to make it.
We are not going to make it.
Dude.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Like, I've made the wrong choice here. This is bad.
This is maybe the end. I love you, sweetheart. And I think everybody, especially people that have gone on vacation to, like, those Caribbean nations and some of the islands, you've experienced that before, haven't you? You know exactly what we're talking about.
You're nodding in approval. Yeah, it happened.
That going from the airport to the resort, and I don't know if we're going to make it. And they're running red lights. They're easing in to traffic.
Every law is just a suggestion.
It is, exactly. That's a great way of putting it.
There's a gap, I promise.
Yeah, dude, we've all been there, because as soon as Lo said that, I flashed back to the last time when we went to the narco state of Mexico for my son's senior trip, and getting from the airport to the hotel. I was like, oh my God. I felt like Cameron. Oh my God. The whole time. When we come back, the future of the war on Iran is next level, and we'll talk about it next on Xtra.
Xtra 106.3 is getting ready for the 2026 midterms. And on the ballot, it's freedom versus communism. The choice is clear, and your vote matters more than ever. The future of our community and our country hangs in the balance, and the conservative voice of Atlanta will continue to fight the good fight right up to the election. Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
Matt, where does confidence actually come from?
Well, Brooke, most people think it's about faking it or achieving more. But real confidence starts with something simpler, self-awareness.
So how do you know if you're self-aware? And more importantly, how do you increase it?
That's where our image process comes in at howpeopleseeyou.com.
Is that the same process made famous by casting director Sam Christensen from MASH?
Yeah, and today it's helping corporate professionals show up with clarity and authenticity, because confidence starts when who you are matches how you're seen. Learn more at howpeopleseeyou.com and sign up for a free preview event. That's howpeopleseeyou.com.
Immaculately designed and manicured backyards can significantly enhance your property's value and visual appeal. And by adding a customized, professionally designed and installed artificial putting green from ATL Turf Co., it'll take your home to the next level. ATL Turf Co.'s custom greens are designed to replicate tournament-level green conditions with realistic ball bounce, roll, and speed, and has a stimp meter of 10 to 12.5. So maybe it's time to consider artificial turf.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turf Co. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
It's the hardest working part of your home, your garage door. When it fails, you need someone you can trust. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. When the largest and most important opening of your home breaks, don't hire a schmo. Call the local name you know, All Four Seasons. Ask your neighbors. We offer upfront pricing, free estimates on all major brands, and 24/7 service. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
Hey, it's Kimmer. Let me ask you something. When you paid your health insurance bill this month, did you think, how am I supposed to keep paying this and I don't even use it? Feels like a waste of money. Well, that's where a lot of people are right now. It's too expensive, but you can't afford to not have it. So what are you supposed to do? Well, that's where my guy Steven comes in, the health insurance doctor. He does this every day. That's why they call him the health insurance doctor. He'll look at what you have and tell you straight if there's a better way. Here's an example. This is true. One family was paying over $3,000 a month. Now it's around $1,200 without sacrificing coverage. Does not happen for everybody, but shows it's possible. And yes, there are plans with PPO networks, no deductible options, year-round enrollment. Anybody can sit around and just complain about their premiums all year, but not everybody can do something about it. My friend Steven, health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. You could be saving money before you even know it. The health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. Healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Hank Williams Jr. live Saturday, June 27th, Ameris Bank Amphitheater with special guest Sammy Kershaw. On sale Friday 10 a.m. at livenation.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, March 5th, and here are your headlines. The Israeli consulate in Atlanta is on heightened security alert as tensions escalate in the Middle East. Consul General Eitan Weiss say officials are working closely with the Atlanta Police Department, monitoring potential threats against Israeli and Jewish interests in the region. Officials say there's no credible threats in Atlanta at this time, but security precautions have been increased. The Georgia State Senate has advanced a bill aimed at guaranteeing public school students the right to protest and participate in political activities. Lawmakers say the proposal would strengthen students' First Amendment rights following recent walkouts at Metro Atlanta schools. And finally, a new immersive sports and entertainment venue called Cosm is set to open June 10th in downtown Atlanta's Centennial Yards District, with its first ticketed event scheduled the same night as Game 4 of the 2026 NBA Finals. The dome-style venue will use massive wraparound screens to create a stadium-like viewing experience for live sports and other events. It will be the third location to open across the United States. Today's weather is going to be a beautiful one with a high of 80 and a low of 59. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. Appreciate you being here. Always welcome on the show. Always want your thoughts, your opinions about the things that we discuss at 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Let's get to the next level war that we're fighting in Iran. It's story time.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Oh, thank you to Bryce, who now has 2 birds of youth that are sitting on each shoulder. Both sweet birds, just kissing them on the cheek.
Good place to be, man.
Yeah, it's a good place when you're in your early 20s. Nothing hurts.
No.
Don't have to worry about anything.
No
Stuff hurts.
Nah.
Hip is struggling.
Not in the way it hurts on Tug.
Wait till you get to 49. You're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Go talk to Kimmer.
That's right.
He needs that new spine.
That's right. New leg.
And a new leg.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know about the spine.
Well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
And thank you to Good Strong Tug, good Navy Tug, who's been breaking down everything that we have going on. All right, let's start by talking about a term, and I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to just try and say it as best as I can. Peshmerga. Now, you might be saying, Los, what is Peshmerga? Well, Peshmerga is a term amongst a tribal group of people. And what is it? Well, Peshmerga translates into those that face death. Pretty interesting kind of term, those that face death. And these tribal people, they believe in a couple of aspects that I think we can really identify with. For instance, they believe in sacrifice. They believe in tribal defense. They believe in their cultural pride. And most importantly, they are very much against evil centralized government. Now, that is who these people are. So I want to take you back a little bit further. Go back to the late 70s when the Ayatollah Khomeini came to power in Iran. And one of the ideas that started to get around was, well, we have to, in order to strengthen our emerging Iran, we have to start hitting at our enemies. It's part of the reason why we had what was going on in this country. We then had the Iranians starting to look into embassy bombings and all the ways that they were lashing out. Well, one of the things that they did was those people that were right off their border that believed in Peshmerga. And the Ayatollah Khomeini turned it into, this is a holy war. We have to fight those people. Well, why? Well, they're very independent and they believe in self-government. And so the Iranians attacked them. Now, that ends up being, the fight that they had for that time period. Fast forward to the early 1990s, as we had Iraq that went into Kuwait. And we decided for Operation Desert Storm to align in Saudi Arabia and push them out. And because Saddam Hussein at this point was worried about his power, he decided the way to keep everyone in line and the way to make sure that the country wasn't going to rise up against him was to bomb the people that believed in Peshmerga. And that's what they did, to the point where the United States recognized this isn't good. We ended up establishing a no-fly zone to protect these people. Now, fast forward once again. As we got into the global war on terror, we could always depend on these people because they did not like centralized government that they considered evil. And not only that, as the global war on terror continued, we partnered with them because when the Iranians were bringing people in to the north of Iraq, they were basically terrorizing these people. Well, let me tell you, these people do not forgive and they do not forget. Again, those that face death, that is what it's known as with Peshmerga. You would know them as the Kurds, okay? That is the name that they're commonly known as, and Peshmerga is their belief system. Yesterday, we had the story that broke out that we have been arming the Kurds to go get vengeance for 1970 and into the early 2000s when you had the Ayatollah Khomeini, who had attacked them in the late 70s, and you also had the Iranian terrorists that were operating in their territory in the early 2000s during the global war on terror into the 2000s. These are the people that we have armed as the boots on the ground. So when you heard Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth saying, hey, there's going to be something big coming, and we thought, well, they're increasing the bombing, and that has been how it is. I believe that these factions that we never knew about, that we have been arming, probably our CIA and our military have been arming, these are going to be the foot soldiers by which they'll be supporting the locals and driving the mullahs out of Iran. I believe that's the direction this thing is going. But I wanted to give you the background as to why the Kurds are perhaps the perfect people to do this sort of work.
They've been waiting.
They don't forgive or forget.
That's right. Exactly right. This would be CIA-led. I think we know that. The Pentagon has said we're not involved with that. Pete Hegseth was asked directly, is our military, is the Pentagon arming the Kurds? And he said no. And that's because probably the Pentagon is not. This is probably a CIA. And through the Israelis, I would imagine the Israelis are helping with that as well. Donald Trump, it's been reported by Axios that Donald Trump has spoken to the heads, the leadership of the Kurds, to work out a deal, to have some sort of partnership for them to be the boots on the ground. That way you don't have to see, not that anybody would accept it, but you don't have to see American boots on the ground, because I don't think anybody is in support of that.
The Kurds have fought Saddam. They have fought the mullahs. They have fought ISIS. And if there's anything that they share with us, first off, the reason why we're looked well upon is because stretching back 30 years ago, we created the no-fly zone so that Saddam Hussein, and by the way, Saddam Hussein, when he was testing out his chemical weapons program, he tested on the Kurds.
That's right.
That's who he bombed. So there is a long history of the Kurds looking at the Americans as being worthy of Peshmerga, those that face death. These are the people that we're in this fight with. We are as a group together. And so that is why I'm curious to see how expansive this is. Is this just to create pressure on Iran's southern border? Is it just to make sure that there is a fighting force that's on the ground that's causing a distraction?
I think it's all of that.
I think it's all of it. But however it ends up coming down, Tug, these are the boots on the ground that we don't want to deal with, that we don't want to be the ones there. But the Kurds, they got a history.
Absolutely. And people that have something to fight for. They have a reason to fight. When you go into something, you want there's a reason that Pete Hegseth yesterday, when he was encouraging our men and women in uniform, what they're doing, like he had me ready to run through a wall. We got a text from Kelvin King's like, man, I'm ready to go join the Air Force again. There's a reason you're trying to motivate your troops. These guys don't need motivation. They don't need a pep talk.
They have 50 years of it.
That's exactly right. They are ready to cause havoc. They're ready to take down what is the remnants of the Ayatollah that has been so ugly to them, has been so awful to them.
They have 50 years of the Iranians again, not the people.
No, of course
the
not.
Mullahs.
The
mullahs going after them because they looked at them as, well, these are a free and independent people. And largely that was what Saddam Hussein, and the reason why he'd bombed them, he's like, well, I got the Kurds to the north. And largely they're even outside of the scope of our government. They're in our country. They control about 20% of it. So whenever we need to make an example, we make an example out of the Kurds. That's why the Kurds were always ready to go and fight Saddam Hussein or anyone else they looked at as evil. And so this is a long play opportunity where the Kurds are actually, however they're armed, however it came about, hey, now it's go time. Let's go get the people that have been messing with your ancestors.
And I think it's important, too, because the Iranians don't have any head leadership right now, right? And what the Iranians learned from the Saddam thing is if the central government falls, like Saddam fell, then everything collapses around us. What the Iranians learned from that was we're going to push down the ability to launch attacks, to execute the Army plan or the Army mission through the IRGC. They pushed that down to mid-level sergeants and mid-level commanders. The reason they did that is so they could still fight even if the head of the snake is cut off, and that's pretty much what you've seen. The Ayatollah was killed. The next group of people who were going to take over, they were killed, but those rockets are still being fired. Now, very much more diminished than they were, but they're still fighting back. Why? Because they pushed down that leadership to those lower-level military commanders. So that's going to create small pockets of resistance all over the country. The Kurds love it because they want to fight. That's the fight they want to fight.
And here's an important aspect. The Kurds don't recognize borders. Like there are Kurdish people in Iran, just like there are those in northern Iraq. It's a region.
And a lot of them have been pushed into Iraq.
And a lot of them because of that they look at themselves as we're Iranian. Like that is our territory. That is our home. That is our mountainous region by which Peshmerga, we face death. We fight. And so I want to see if there's further developments on this. Like, what is the additional information when we get additional press briefings? I hope that someone, when we get to Q&A sessions, start asking about the use of the Kurds. Because if there's one unifying aspect when it comes to all the Kurds, it's the destruction of centralized government that they look at as being evil. If you're just centralized government and you're running a country, the Kurds don't have a problem with you. Kurds just want to be left alone.
Right.
They just want to run their region the way that they do.
Kind of like us.
You
and I want to be left alone.
And by the way, the Kurds, when it comes to like their dress, the way they look much more like 1970s Iran.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically where they're coming from.
Absolutely right.
So this is a fascinating aspect of this, but I wanted to do it in the form of a story time to make sure that people understood this isn't like we just grabbed a faction of people and said, "Here's some weapons, go fight."
Oh, by the way, who's willing to do it? Oh, y'all, here you go.
This goes back a long time of these people they're hardened fighters. And they've had to fight for their existence since the 1970s and throughout their history and into modern times over the last, even the last 20 years, having to deal with terrorists in their country. And they are itching to get rid of the Ayatollahs and the ones that are causing this problem. That's story time.
And then behind that, great work, of course. Behind that, you got the United States and the Israelis continuing to bomb those sites that we know. As soon as the Iranians launch a missile, we detect it, and then we go blow up the missile launcher. That's why the facts of the amount of missiles and amount of mortars and everything that's been fired has decreased so significantly. So we're doing that in the air from the sea. and then you have the Kurds on the ground knocking out those low-level IRGC commanders. This is the perfect storm. This is a great situation for us to be in. How this turns out, nobody's trying to say we don't know. Nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody can figure that out. But if you have somebody that's fighting on the ground because we don't want to do it, count me in.
Yeah. This is an overall strategy that I think starts to check the boxes of what do the American people want? What do they not want? We've been very adamant. I don't want boots on the ground.
Not American boots.
And I don't want a long-term occupational force. The fact that Venezuela couldn't have been more perfect. You were on the ground in Venezuela for like 45 minutes. You accomplished your goal. You got out of there. By the time that anyone was any the wiser, you were back on your aircraft carriers and headed home. Like, that sounds like a perfect operation. This is going to be different. But at the same time, I don't want to be an occupational force. I want this to be an operation. I want this over with. And as my big hope, Tug, I want to have different leadership in Iran that understands that when we're negotiating with you and we're willing to help you out with your nuclear plans for what you want to do for civilian use, we're here to help. If you're looking to do anything more, we're here to kill.
That's right. And on top of that, the nation building aspect, we have a horrible track record. I don't want any part of it. I hope we pound all the targets. We soften it up. The Kurds are able to wipe out the remnants of the IRGC. And then I hope we hand it off to those Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan, Qatar, whomever, in that neighborhood, and maybe even with cooperation with the Israelis, and they handle the nation-building part. Bounce pass it back to them. We've done everything. We've cleared this out. Now y'all go to work. This is your backyard. You go fix it. Very similar to Venezuela.
Yeah. Let the region determine the future of the region, not us.
Not us, because we don't live there. We don't know it as well as they do.
We're rid of your problem.
Right.
Now you go make your next future.
That's what I want to see. And I hope that is what we will see. Storytime with Los is always good on Extra 106.3. If you missed any of it in the beginning, you can go back and listen to it on the Extra 106.3 app. It'll be available.
Peshmerga.
If you don't know, or you didn't know, now you do.
Now you know.
When we come back, I don't want you and I paying for some corporation's energy consumption. Neither does the president. Thank the Lord. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, March 5th. The Atlanta Hawks are now over 500 after a 131-113 beatdown of the Milwaukee Bucks on the road last night as the Hawks rebounded from a rough first quarter to blow out the Bucks. Onyeka Okongwu with 21 points and 8 rebounds. Jalen Johnson chipped in a 20-point effort, grabbing 5 rebounds as well. The Hawks are back in action Saturday night at home as they host the Philadelphia 76ers. From college football, coaching legend Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. Holtz led Notre Dame to their last national championship during the 1988 season. Holtz was 249, 132, and 7 during his coaching career, including stops at NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the honest car guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, in a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the honest car guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be, because you know what? Lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true, right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
You know what you get back when you call the Trusted Toolbox? You get your time back, you get your family back, and you get your house back. No more spending weekends fixing loose doors, drywall cracks, or that list that never ends. With our handyman for a day, one skilled professional shows up, knocks out multiple repairs in one visit. Everything from drywall to ceiling fans changed out, painting, trim work, and so much more. Stop working on your house every weekend. Call the Trusted Toolbox, get your time back, and get it done right the first time. Book your appointment today at thetrustedtoolbox.com.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia. The Morning Extra, starting your day the right way. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
I have a lot, several cars. I have 9 kids, you guys, so I try to manage all of that. But I have a Suburban to move a lot of kids. I have an old Ford F-150. My wife bought a Bronco, which, by the way, she loves. And my kids drive a Subaru, and my son drives a Subaru and is relentlessly mocked by
Tug's wife drives one as well. Yes, he catches it as well.
I love that. He gets more Instagram reels and Twitter reels on the Subaru.
He's going to be asking you, Secretary Duffy, he's going to be asking you for that F-150. He's like, Dad, can I just drive the F-150?
Where's this Bronco?
Where's the new Bronco? Let me drive that.
And by the way,
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3.
I would imagine the fog of war is something that can be blinding all over the place, not just for the men and women in uniform on the ground, but commanders, administration, Pentagon, CIA, even up to the president, because you're so focused on the mission and accomplishing that goal. But Donald Trump does things a little differently. He is focused on Iran, but he's also focused on affordability. Hadn't heard that name or that word pop up, I know, in a few days, but that is not what Donald Trump is doing. He has not dropped the word. He knows how important affordability is. He knows the midterms are coming and how important that is going to be, and then that word will be used and tossed around. So he got you a massive affordability win. You know all these big data centers that are coming all over the place because AI is growing so rapidly and changing the way that we work and we interact, the way we conduct wars in Iran AI has been a huge feature of that.
The way I create songs and make pictures and videos.
Exactly. Cousin Brittany just texted me. I woke up this morning singing your funny songs.
I've done it too.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
with you, Brittany.
Me too. She said, woke up this morning singing these jingles. They're all so catchy. Which is the truth. All created by AI. But that energy, as we've learned, is really, really intense. To create one AI image, one picture, and people do thousands a day. To create one, it is the same amount of energy to charge your cell phone from 0 to 100. That's the type of energy consumption that it uses. So these data centers are very important to give them the energy to create this new industrial revolution that we're going through. People are concerned about their energy prices going up, and rightfully so. Supply and demand would tell you that your energy price is going up because energy is being used at such a rapid rate. President Trump just got the big tech companies and AI companies to agree to cover the full cost of that electricity on their own. Listen to this.
Under the ratepayer protection pledge we're signing today, the big tech companies are making 5 important commitments to keep utility prices down for American consumers. First, these companies are committing to provide or pay for all power generation and electricity needed for their AI projects, which is massive. And where possible, they'll add capacity to the grid by building new power stations. So they're going to be making their own electricity. They're not going to be taking from the grid, and they will actually probably, based on what I'm seeing, they're building overcapacity, and they'll be able to sell that overcapacity at very low prices into the grid. In addition to that, we're fixing the grid. Now, if we didn't do this was, I believe, I don't know, nobody's going to challenge you, won't challenge me. I think this was my idea. I said, wait a minute, we can't. When I first got involved with AI, they said, we will need triple the energy. Think of this, triple the energy of what we have now. Some people said double. I said, whether it's double or triple, that's crazy. And that was just for AI. It is incredible. And when you see the buildings we're talking about, you start to understand it. But unless you saw buildings that go for miles.
We don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for some big corporation's energy consumption. I don't want my bills going up. So Donald Trump, doing what a good president does, says, no, we're not going to do that to our people. We're not going to make your energy bills go up. We're going to make the AI companies pay for it. And, dude, this is the smartest thing because he can't take his eye off the affordability issue. It has to be front and center. And this is the first step in doing that.
Why did Bill Gates suddenly abandon the climate change movement? Well, reportedly, he has $2 billion invested in a multitude of AI-based ventures. And if you're going to do this correctly, you have to feed it energy. You have to create more electricity. You have to have these data centers that are being powered at a level that allows them to reach their capacity. And so it's funny how you now have these tech companies that have brought up, listen, we'll create as much as we need for this stuff, and then we're going to sell the excess. We're going to put more into the marketplace so that it never gets to the private sector in terms of I'm having to compete with Grok, Amazon, ChatGPT for energy.
Yeah, because they are going to consume way more. And for them to be able to sell it back, creating more supply. And then that, obviously, with having more supply, the cost goes down.
But it's also bludgeoned the climate change movement.
Oh, well, yes, that too. Yes.
The primary backers that are involved in this recognize, no, we need more conventional energy for this stuff. This is the future. This is the direction it's going.
That's right.
You can't be talking about wind and solar, yet invested heavily in AI, which that's where things are going.
And Bill Gates, what did he say? Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be good.
Now, for the last 20 years, he's like, oh, my God.
It's totally good.
He said, like every afternoon, oh, my God.
One of these days, especially when it's Earth Day, every Earth Day, I replay the entire George Carlin bit from 30 years ago. The Earth is fine. Yeah. The people are effed.
Yeah, that's right. The Earth will be okay.
Earth is fine. The people are effed.
No doubt. So the ratepayer protection pledge, companies are going to build and bring online new energy capacity to meet their needs cover the full cost of infrastructure upgrades, power delivery to their own facilities, then negotiate separate rate structures with utilities and states paying for new power and related infrastructure, even if not fully utilized initially, and then any of the leftover gets sold back on the open market, and your power bills should at least stabilize or start going down, which is so important because everybody has noticed how their power bills have spiked, and that's obviously supply and demand working against you, even if it's you, like Los, over there creating AI daily. I mean, you're doing something with AI almost every day.
I'm trying not to. I don't want to take up any more power.
Well, no, I don't believe that for a second.
Did really enjoy. I moved on. I cheated on you over the weekend. I decided to start making videos. I know you're giving me that face.
I feel hurt.
In our group chat when it came to our
You're my
volleyball
work
team,
husband, man. You can't cheat on me like that.
I started to have videos of, and they were all of my wife trying to get the team to come down to the hotel bar and hang out.
Yeah.
And sometimes she would explode into a fiery ball and then to a volleyball and all sorts of stuff like that. All of it. They just one after another. And people, they were, how are you doing this? It's like, it's magic. I was like, but I had a lot of training where Tug would get naked and jump on dinosaurs.
With Jason Aldean. Crazy, no?
Or
Laney Wilson.
Laney Wilson asking you if you would, hey, do you like me? No, I like karate.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Laney, I think you're fine. I love karate.
But I love karate.
Dude, that one, I haven't seen that one in a day or two. We need to reshare that one.
Do you like me? No, I like karate.
It's so good. It's so crazy, off the wall, wacky. It's so good. And then the one of Jason Aldean when he sees the stars.
And as you fly away.
And he's
Where
like,
are you going?
Wow. Dude, he's got his arms all out. Oh, so good.
Yeah, you shouldn't post any more pictures of you with celebrities because I know what I'm going to do with them.
Not anymore.
If he goes to the Avengers Awards, he might.
Exactly. The American Alliance of Avengers and Academy Country Music.
The Academy of Country Music, the Avengers Award. I was like, what are you talking about, Bryce?
If Tug wins.
I'm not winning. I'm not going to win, so it ain't going to matter. But it's an honor to be nominated. The Academy of Country Music Awards in Las Vegas.
Unless something was to happen to all the other nominees.
Like they were to fall ill? Could they just fall ill? Because you could still get an award if you're ill. Well, I mean, we need to get to the voters. That's who we did get to, not the other nominees.
I'm just putting it out there. You never know.
You got to do something.
That's right. We may use AI.
Yeah, you might have an accident or something.
We may use AI to manipulate the vote. I feel like that's been done before. Maybe even here in town. I don't know. Vote change.
Oh, no, there's a water leak.
Yeah, exactly. There's a water. That's it, Los. There's a water leak at ACM headquarters.
We're going to have to stop the voting.
That's right.
We'll continue it later.
When we continue on Extra, a deceiver, a wolf in sheep's clothing, won his primary. Beware, we've told you this over and over and over again. And you better be paying attention because this is the new trend to get you using your own values. Next on Extra.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, today I am going to be your consumer reporter, a man of many hats. I cannot reach the remote mute button fast enough when somebody comes on my TV and says, "Hi, I'm Damian Clark." But this isn't about him. It's about another ad on TV for life insurance, where you only pay a $9.95 a month premium. And they make it very clear during this ad that your rate, they call it a rate, will never go up, and it can't be canceled, and they won't ask you any questions about your health. Blah, blah, blah. So what don't they tell you about this great $9.95 a month insurance policy? For starters, they don't tell you what the death benefit is. Here's what else they don't tell you. For the first 2 years after you buy this policy, if you die of natural causes, anything but an accident, you just get your payments back. That's it. Plus 10% interest. There is no death benefit. But after 2 years, at $9.95 a month, here's what you get. If you're my age and you've paid the $9.95 a month, and at the end of 2 years, the death benefit is $400 to $500. That's it. That doesn't even buy an urn. The older you get, the rate stays the same, but the death benefit is constantly going down. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they don't tell you these little details in their advertisements. Maybe, just maybe, it might be that you're not all that smart and probably pretty easily conned. Tell your relatives that they can look forward to spending $400. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Democracy 2026.
In clinching his party's Senate nomination, State Representative and seminarian James Tallarico has sparked hope among Texas Democrats that their first statewide victory in 3 decades is within reach.
This is proof that there is something happening in Texas.
Tallarico beat out well-known Kamala Harris-backed Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Tallarico's November opponent will be determined in a May runoff. 4-term Republican Senator John Cornyn and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton failed to secure the required 50% of votes. Here's Paxton, then Cornyn.
While John Cornyn was cutting deals on gun control and amnesty, I was suing corrupt Joe Biden over 107 times.
I refuse to allow a flawed, self-centered, and shameless candidate like Ken Paxton risk everything we've worked so hard to build.
President Trump has so far declined to choose between Cornyn and Paxton, but teased today he will endorse soon and that he, quote, will be asking the candidate I don't endorse to immediately drop out of the race. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Fighting the communists with truth every day on the only conservative news and talk station in Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Iran is targeting Israel today over and over. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Just moments ago, missiles were soaring through the skies of Israel. We watched here as air defense systems were shooting down the incoming fire.
Fox's Trey Inks has a front row seat to the war in Tel Aviv.
This was the 5th round of incoming Iranian missiles since the middle of the night, sending the population here into bomb shelters.
Iran has also been going after neighboring countries. There have been U.S. facilities there, like Qatar, again targeted. As Iran's foreign minister warned on social media, the U.S. will bitterly regret sinking a warship in international waters with a torpedo. And as the U.S. and Israel keep attacking Iran,
We're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15.
President Trump has conceded the U.S. military is being used a little bit more than he expected when he returned to office for his second term. But he says Operation Epic Fury is going so well because in strike after strike, multiple layers of regime leadership are being killed to the point where every time there's a leader that comes up and wants to sort of take control, that person ends up dead.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House, concerned about fuel shipping being halted in the region as oil prices rising. Here in the U.S., the price of the gas pump has surged up 26 cents in 3 days. Democrats keep trying to limit the president in Iran, pushing a war powers resolution.
Our founders did not want to place the immense power over whether or not to go to war in the hands of just one individual.
But Senator Gary Peters and the Democrats lost. Republicans blocked the resolution. Senator Tim Sheehy tells Fox.
This is no question Iran started this conflict. We are going to finish it, and all Americans should be happy about that.
Today, the House will vote on the resolution. Congress will also vote on Homeland Security funding, which Democrats have blocked for nearly 3 weeks, demanding immigration enforcement reforms. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
Coffee, keys, and extra 1063. That's how I get to work and home.
Tug and Los on Extra. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. Anything that you've missed on the show so far, you can go back and listen to it at your leisure. It is Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday. So close to the weekend. You can touch it, but you can't. So close you can almost get there. But you better not. And you can't. So I'd love to interact with you on social media at Tug Cowarts. A lot of interaction there already today. You can also find at Front Office Los and at Extra 1063. But been communicating with at Nola Doll Mom, at Real Jeff Clark. Some of the folks at Russell Wise, some of the folks that are reaching out this morning, and I know the folks on YouTube. Good morning to the YouTube chat. We had talked about the weight of an 18-wheeler. It got brought up in the context of giving people a license that can't...
The CDL's out there for illegals.
Yeah, that can't speak or can't read English. And we weren't sure the exact weight of a 18-wheeler. But our listeners are really good and gave us that information right quick in the group chat there on the YouTube channel. So always broadcasting there if you want to see the show versus just hear the show. So many ways to consume Extra 1063, the Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and the afternoon show with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Legendary voice. Oh, my God. Legendary voice. Oh, my God. Of the Kimmer. There's nobody like him. Nobody. Oh, my God. Yeah, nobody like him, without a doubt. So,
we should call it that. It's the Kimmer Show. Like, what is it when songs, where it'll have the song name, but then it'll have...
In
like
the parentheses.
In the parentheses.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Kimmer Show.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Love it.
Yeah, no. Superman. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah, Superman. It's not easy.
5 for 5.
Kimmer Show.
Oh, my God. I think that's a good idea. And we need anything that's printed needs to have that.
I really appreciate it. He got a chance to hear from the helicopter pilot that had called into the show yesterday.
Tony? But his name was Tony.
After we had played and we'd taken Pete Hegseth live. And the way that Kelvin King responded to that, the way that Tony responded to that, the way that you respond to it, Tug, was the exact same way Kimmer did. And as he put it on his show, I don't care. Let me drive a truck. Let me help out however I can. I'm ready. If you'll take me, I'm ready to help out however I can. That's what it did.
Isn't that an American value? I want to contribute. Think about World War II, the greatest generation. How every American contributed in some way. It didn't matter how big or how small, whether you're on the front lines or you're back home filling in for where everybody was gone. So many women took up jobs in factories and even played baseball. I mean, that's when,
Well, this is the unique thread that I think binds so many of our service members. There is no different in the commitment to service between those who are in World War II or Korea or Vietnam or the global war on terror. There's no difference. They all were interested in service. Now, society changes in how they view certain conflicts.
Yep.
But how men and women who serve, they don't. And so it doesn't matter if Kimmer has not been in service in 50 years. That energy is still there. You have not been in service in 20 years, yet that energy is there. Same thing with Tony. Same thing with Kelvin King. And so that, I think, is when you see a person in uniform who is denigrating the actions of a country, is especially in, it's not that you can't have an opinion, but I think that when you start really knocking the service of others as if you have a choice, I think that's when that denigrates the uniform. Especially if you do it privately, fine. You do it in uniform, that's different to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And then for me, it's about, okay, we're in this together right now. We have time to go back and evaluate what we did good, what we didn't do well. And, like, I think we played the cut yesterday of Hakeem Jeffries talking about how, the United States, we weren't going to win this. We're not going to be able to pull this off. And it just felt like such a shot at the people that are out there fighting the war, doing their best and making things happen. And it's been an incredible success so far. For him to say that makes me feel like he's pulling against them. And I don't know that he is, but it sure sounds like it.
Well, he is from the anti-American party. And I have said this since we discussed this point on Monday. You can have a difference of opinion. You can view the administration as being faulty, ignorant, whatever you want. You can hate Donald Trump. But if you are viewing our military men and women and hoping for their failure, there's something wrong with you. And I think that when Hakeem Jeffries started going down that road, I think he did more harm than good. I think he thought, I'm speaking to that minority that celebrates this stuff. The majority in this country finds you gross, Hakeem Jeffries.
And Pete Hegseth actually addressed it. Listen to this.
Secretary Hegseth, with respect to House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' statement that the Iran mission will end in failure, what kind of message does that send to our enemies, and what does it do to the motivation of our troops?
Well, I've been through that movie before with the Democrats rooting against the country. Our generation saw that in our battlefields. I think it's pretty unprecedented and unfortunate that it would occur 4 days in to an operation where, as the chairman laid out, America's best are operating in an incredibly challenging environment where they're having incredible success, but they're meeting a determined adversary. And he's been privy to briefs that we've provided. He knows how effective this has been. He's being disingenuous, which we're used to.
Yeah, we're used to it. We've seen it. We've seen this playbook before, but it feels gross. He's used to it. The American people are not.
You're playing to a tiny minority, because I believe that a majority of Americans want to see, regardless of where they fall on the political spectrum, they want to see their American servicemen and women complete the mission and come home safely. That's what I believe.
That's the bottom line.
And if you do not feel that way, I believe there's something that is morally corrupt and wrong with you.
And I agree. As a guy that served, as a guy that has been those places where this is happening right now. And look, I was there relative peacetime, man. I have nothing on the war fighters that are doing it right now. But having been there, man, it is important to know that your leadership is behind you. And that's why I believe that Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are such a good combination for our men and women in uniform, because they say, we have your back. We're not going to abandon you like others have.
There's constructs that we build. And I think the easiest one for Americans to digest is good guy, bad guy. Every time. Movies, television, pop culture, war. Good guy, bad guy. Very rarely is a scenario good guy, bad guy. But it is in this case.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
The Iranian leadership has been bad guy for the better part of 50 years, to the point where the rest of the Middle East region are all on board with this. It doesn't matter which of the countries, with Qatar, UAE, the Saudis, everyone looking at it saying, we've got to not have this leadership in control of this country anymore, because this is demon stuff. This, if you want to talk about the construct, I think it totally fits, and it's moral, and it's the right thing to do. You were negotiating with these people in good faith, and it turned to the point where it wasn't going anywhere, where they were committed to their construction of major weaponry.
And it wouldn't be, I said this 1,000 times, and I believe it to be true, it wouldn't be a deterrent for them. They're not afraid to pull the trigger.
Not
They're
at all.
not. And they wouldn't. That's why they can't have it. Let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, the Morning Xtra. Tug so bold, deep in the story, breaking news that's bold.
The things that are happening in your home state of Texas are lighting up the radar.
It has been a wild last several days as we get through the whole process of deciding who's going to be running on what end of the ticket, and now that you have runoffs that are going to occur, it's a fascinating time. And I think Texas is a little bit indicative of what we're going to see in other places. Texas is not a battleground state. Texas is a red state that the Democrats are hoping they can turn blue at some point. But whatever's happening in Texas, I believe we're going to see here. If it's playing out in Texas, then the real battleground states are going to see this as well. And I believe it's going to be wolf in sheep's clothing. It's going to be people that are going to portray themselves as one thing, similar to what we saw in Virginia. I'm a moderate. I'm running for governor. I'm a moderate.
And Abigail Spanberger is anything but.
And as soon as she is in office, it's been anything but moderate. In fact, it's gotten people killed. We'll get a chance to touch on that when you see that they've let criminals back out on the street within 3 weeks of that election, and it's getting regular Virginians killed. Okay, that's where elections have horrible consequences.
Yeah, it does.
I believe that is going to be the game here in Georgia. We are going to have to start identifying who's who, what's what, and how are they going to try and market themselves. So I want to play Stephen Toth. So Stephen Toth ends up being the person who gets rid of, what was the name that we went that's out there? Eye Patch McCain.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and apparently he was in Nashville in the last couple of days.
I guess it worked out.
Yeah, he's finding something to do.
So Stephen Toth is going to take over, and he's going to end up winning that House seat.
Eye Patch McCain.
From Eye Patch McCain. Now, Stephen Toth, he ends up going on, I think it was News Nation, and he's in the car doing the interview, and he is asked about James Taralico, who is going, as now that he's beaten Jasmine Crockett, he's going to go up against, hopefully it's Ken Paxton, might be John Cornyn, we'll see.
President Trump has yet to endorse a candidate, says he will before the runoff vote.
That is, okay, the people of Texas have been backing Ken Paxton versus John Cornyn. The problem is John Cornyn is part of the swamp. The problem is that if you want to get stuff done, you need John Cornyn.
And they've spent $71 million in that campaign alone.
Versus Paxton spending $4 million, and yet they're in a runoff. Credit to Texas. Yep. Texas has shown.
Good work.
We're going this direction. It's got to be freaking out the rest of the establishment that you spend $70 million on Cornyn and you're in a runoff. You couldn't beat Paxton with $7 million, and he had, or $70 million, he had $4 million. But here's Stephen Toth. And Toth is going to talk about James Taralico, who's running on the Democrat side for Senate, and how, again, wolf in sheep's clothing. He's wrapped himself in Christianity. This is what Toth has had to say because they have worked together and served together in the Texas legislature.
62 Democrats joined 21 Republicans to give us the Speaker of the House. So 3/4, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3 Democrat, 1/3 Republican. That coalition of Democrats runs the Texas House. So when I put forth legislation to secure our elections, it gets killed by the Democrats. When I put forth legislation to end the social transition of children, it gets killed by the Democrats. It's evil. Tallarico is part of that group. I served with James Tallarico from 2019 through to today. This guy is as evil as they come. There's a darkness to this man's life that if you doubt that there's a wickedness and an evil and a demonic presence in the world, you only have to look at James Tallarico. He's an awful, awful person. Awful person.
How do you like that? That's coming out swinging.
But if you've seen some of the things he said and some of the things that he's promoted, it's hard not to believe that, because when he used the word darkness, that's what jumped off the page to me. That's the absence of light, the absence of good. But I would also say people that are evil, and there's a lot of evil people in this world, they don't have horns and tails. They look just like you and I do. But the things they say and do separate them from being like you and I. I told you earlier, Los, I physically went to his church's website. I was trying to figure out, what in the world is this? What is this that I know is not coming out of the good book? I've been reading it my whole life. I'm not an expert by any means, but I feel like I've been taught well over the years. The church I go to is Presbyterian. It is PCA, which is straight from the Bible. He goes to St. Andrew's Pres in Austin, Texas. It's PCUSA, which is a very liberal form of the Presbyterian denomination, which is the reason that they split ultimately because of the crazy stuff. And then you go to the website, and the first thing you see is like the cross wrapped in a rainbow flag. There's just a lot going on, and it's uneasy. It is uncomfortable for me, and I'm so afraid that people are going to buy it and be misled. I'm afraid they're going to be misled, and it's easy to do when you wrap yourself in the things that people can relate to.
I know that my computer's a little too far away from you, so you can see the picture, but you don't know what I asked Grok to make me. What does it look like that's on my screen right now?
Just the dude on the left looks like he's posing for a picture that, I don't know, that was taken at his office, maybe a headshot or something.
Okay, so what I asked, I said, Grok, make me a picture of a generic youth minister.
Got it. All right.
James Tallarico is far left politics, the sort of stuff as far as, mutilating children and a multitude of sexes and
6, I think he testified.
Crazy COVID information and white people are inherently racist. All of the stuff that's like far, far, far left stuff wrapped up in generic youth minister covering.
Packaging.
That's what he is. So when Steve Toth tells you this person's truly dark and evil, it's because he's doing all of it with a smile. He's selling you the, oh shucks.
Yeah.
10 Commandments are important.
Yeah.
But the stuff you believe in is very dark. In fact, the video that is now out that it started making the rounds late last night was how Tallarico was talking about how prisons. Now, remember, we've been told speech is violence, right? That was what I was told during like 2020. Speech is violence. Then I was told if you don't speak out, that's violence. Silence is violence. All right, Tallarico pushed it to prisons are violence. It's like, how, in his entire video, can't you imagine a world without prisons? Like, wouldn't that be a better place? No, not at all. There's not been one society that has been successful without being able to take the people that will not adhere to society and taking them out of society.
And we talked about the way that the American people are staunch in their belief that illegals should be taken out of the country. This guy's talking about how the border needs to be our front porch.
Yes, it should be welcoming to everyone.
Yeah, welcome out in the front porch. Another thing a country can't survive with is without borders because it's not a country at that point.
So that is the direction that I believe the Democrats across the board are going. From Virginia to Texas. We'll see this in Georgia, especially with John Ossoff. John Ossoff, by the time we get to November, he's going to try to portray himself as the everyman who was just quietly working for Georgia. I'm here to help you. You haven't seen me vote for anything that's crazy legislation. In fact, I agree with President Trump. Like, it'll be all of it. It'll be every bit of those lies or that, again, wolf in sheep's clothing to make you feel better about, well, maybe I don't have to go to the polls. It's because this is all going to be a turnout election.
Not voting is voting for Democrats. That's what that is. If you sit at home, that is a vote for a Democrat. Do not sit at home. You cannot sit at home. I mean, the direction of the country rests on it. It is important to listen to what people say and then watch their actions. Do they match? In Virginia, they didn't match. The moderate packaging, Spanberger went hard left. Now in Tallarico's case, he's presented it as like Lo said, it looks like a Bible study teacher. No, a youth pastor.
Generic youth pastor.
And yet he's espousing...
Oh, shucks, guys.
There's 6 genders? Come on.
I didn't even know. I thought there was 2. Turns out there's 6.
God's non-binary. I heard him say that. It's just... It's unreal, some of the things.
I can't wait till he starts telling you about what Jesus wants.
Oh, well.
Because that's always when I go, now I know you're full of it.
When we continue on Extra 106.3, the 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770, get heat, centralheat.com. An improvement on The View? Could it be? Their viewers, if that's the case, their viewers must hate it. Next on Extra.
Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the Honest Car Guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. It's 2026, and it's going to be a great year. So let's start the year off with a quiz. So what's the difference in a criminal and a socialist Democrat? Well, a criminal wants to steal your stuff, but a socialist Democrat wants to steal your freedom. So let's talk about safes. The Atlanta Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Brands like Browning, Champion, and Fort Knox. With over 500 safes in stock, we are the place to buy a safe. So come by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Don't believe this nonsense you see on TV commercials about how uncomfortable a CPAP mask is. Take it from me. You wear one, especially the nasal pillow I use, for one night, and you will fight anybody that tries to take it away from you. But if they do take it away from you, you can get more at cpapsetc.com, cpapsetc.com, with a store in Alpharetta, same-day shipping. To your health, cpapsetc.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, March 5th, and here are your headlines. The Israeli consulate in Atlanta is on heightened security alert as tensions escalate in the Middle East. Consul General Eitan Weiss say officials are working closely with the Atlanta Police Department, monitoring potential threats against Israeli and Jewish interests in the region. Officials say there's no credible threats in Atlanta at this time, but security precautions have been increased. The Georgia State Senate has advanced a bill aimed at guaranteeing public school students the right to protest and participate in political activities. Lawmakers say the proposal would strengthen students' First Amendment rights following recent walkouts at Metro Atlanta schools. And finally, a new immersive sports and entertainment venue called Cosm is set to open June 10th in downtown Atlanta's Centennial Yards District, with its first ticketed event scheduled the same night as Game 4 of the 2026 NBA Finals. The dome-style venue will use massive wraparound screens to create a stadium-like viewing experience for live sports and other events. It will be the third location to open across the United States. Today's weather is going to be a beautiful one with a high of 80 and a low of 59. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3, 404-741-1230. It is 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms, at Front Office Los and at Tug Cowart, at Extra 106.3. So easy to get a hold of us. So easy to find us. Los, Aunt Peg loves The View. Watches it every day.
Yay.
She watches The View like I watch Jeopardy.
Ooh, that's a dedication.
I mean, seriously, dude.
Did I not, though, dominate?
Yes.
Clean my house?
You did good,
They
man.
had a category, clean my house. The other night, I was waiting for an NBA game.
Yeah.
I ended up on Jeopardy. Felt like I did pretty well.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Duvets and runners, I knew those.
It's so good. The song lyric category was my
lyric category. I was like, that's 99 Balloons.
Yeah, right. The song by Nina. I
was like, that's You Ought to Know. That's Alanis Morissette.
That which was the first.
Yeah,
the first clue, if I recall. But yes, Jeopardy's so good. Like, I feel like you not only do you possibly learn something, just a little bit. I mean, it's a tidbit. Maybe it pops up in life. Maybe it doesn't, but knowledge is always good. And then there's the categories that you do well in. It makes you feel good because those people are really freaking smart on that show. Now, typically, The View is the exact opposite. you get tidbits of stupidity.
I think you're there.
You get dumber for watching it.
To take whatever your mentality is and just have it reinforced. So if you're kind of stuck in a land of weird cat lady, they're going to make sure you stay in a land of weird cat lady.
Aunt Peg up to 3.
There you go.
She'd have 10 if they'd let her.
I was thinking about it in these terms. You can't possibly be, because some of their answers and some of the things they get into are so fringy, are so dumb. It can't possibly be their opinion. In my opinion, the producers come up with the topics they know that are going to fit the audience. It'll be the most inflammatory for the audience.
Without a doubt.
And then they let the women of The View say what they're going to say. And, like, for instance, once again, the other day came up and then you're bombing a school.
Right. After we already knew that the Iranians did it and even admitted to it.
The Iranians have no problem sacrificing women, okay?
And then make their radar screen.
What's the big deal to them? Here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to scare the population, taking out some little girls. They don't value them.
And look at what it'll do to these crazy fools across the globe that do.
Right. Look at how it creates a stir. Makes Whoopi Goldberg bring it up like it's something that the Allied forces did. They didn't. So that's the sort of information where if you've been paying attention within 4 hours, we knew who was actually responsible for that. 48 hours later, The View is still saying the wrong piece of information.
MS Now, too.
MS Now does the same thing. So let's go to yesterday, where former co-host Elizabeth Hasselbeck, they basically got run off The View during the Rosie O'Donnell years because Rosie didn't know what to do with her. I mean, Elizabeth Hasselbeck would just basically take your argument, take it apart, and it would create these very strange moments on the show, and it happened again, where the audience is sitting dumbfounded because they know what she said is true, but they've now been pretzeled. They don't know how to answer it. Let's start right here. This is how, when you have a strong Republican voice, what it does to the show.
Put forward the statistics that 0 illegals released into the U.S. for 10 months straight have not crossed, okay? That nearly 3 million aliens have left the United States, that we have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, that fentanyl trafficking is down 56% at the border, and daily encounters have gone down 96%. Hang on one second. We need a strong border, especially now with our current global situation. And I believe that you may say you don't want border control and you're against ICE, but I actually don't believe you in your daily lives. How many people in the audience here had to go through security to get here? Raise your hand. Just be honest. Otherwise, you go to jail, I guess, for illegal trespassing, right? This is an authorized audience. They had to go through security to get through the border, to get right here, to just hear us talk. We need strong borders more than ever right now. We are being infiltrated.
But listen, can I give you on the border when Renee Good and Alex Peretti were murdered, and death is not a mistake.
That was a murder. That was a murder.
Now let me
As
finish.
were those killed by illegal immigrants.
Let's not be dismissive about
I'm
the
not
fact
dismissive. I just
that
said all
this
their lives matter.
So as she puts it, you had to go through security to even be an authorized audience and you hear the silence and the murmur of, oh, she's right.
Deadly and there's the couple of people that are like, you had the rogue collapse.
So Sonny Hostin has to jump in with the applause line of, well, they were murdered.
Yes, of
they
course
weren't
that was
murdered.
not the case.
It was a legal shoot. They were shot on the street. Did they die? Yes. Did they have it coming? No. At the same time, a bad scenario occurred because they got involved in a legal enforcement operation.
It'd be no different if you stopped and you saw somebody pulled over getting arrested on the side of the road.
I decided to jump in and advocate for him.
Right, absolutely.
I was like, now I'm a threat.
To the officer.
Yes.
And a danger to the person that's being arrested. This is a bad situation all the way around.
Bad situation all the way around.
And if you were injured or God forbid, killed, it would be your fault for doing what you did.
So Elizabeth Hasselbeck makes the great point. The audience sits there stunned, don't know how to explain it, and Sonny Hostin has to be like, well, how do I pull this thing out? I'll say that they were murdered, which, by the way, considering she was talking about, given the current conditions of us having to fight against the Iranians and how border security and who's coming in and out of this country is it's paramount. And yet, Sonny Hostin has to turn it into, well, the demonstrators, and they were, it's like, one had nothing to do with
it was completely different.
The discussion was completely different.
But I know I need to get something to get the attention of the audience, of the people watching at home, off of the clear, obvious, correct statement made by Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
So now let's go to the next round of dumb that gets the cat ladies going like, oh, thank you. Woo. They're putting their lighter up.
Ding, ding.
They're putting their lighter in the air. They're like, oh, give me the next round of dumb. So the next round of dumb that The View will always go to is a comparison of values and the way in which we live. For instance, they will tell you when we say, hey, we have a problem with this country and what they do to gays, they will say, well, that's how they live. When there is, in the reverse, they'll say, well, why shouldn't they do it this way? It's like, so they'll respect them on one end, but then they will say that they need to do what we look at as our values on the other. So in this case, this is the tired old argument of how if you're black in this country, I mean, that's got to be worse than being a woman in another country. Well, I'll flat out tell you, being a woman in Tehran it's not even the same sport. It's not even apples and oranges. It's like apples and hammers, okay? This is what The View had to go on that one.
Let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is today,
I'm sorry. They used to just keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Killed for I'm sorry.
I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes, it is up to them. And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it. It's not good.
Let me clarify, and this is how wrong she really is. So if you happen to be, let's say you're Tug Cowart, and he talked about like his high school sweetheart who she was running around town.
She's busy.
And Tug decided that he wanted to take her out back and bury her in a hole with her head out of the hole and throw rocks at her. Well, Tug's going to prison for a very long time. That's socially acceptable in places like Afghanistan. There is a morality, there is a lifestyle that is different. If you were to participate in a lynching today, let's say the person even did what they were convicted. They're convicted in a court of law, and you decided, we're not going to let the law get involved. We're going to take them out of court right now, and this is what we're going to do. You're going to prison.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. That is what is going to happen. Yet, in Tehran, if you happen to reveal your body on the street as a woman,
like Hasselbeck was talking, hair, just a section of her arm.
At no point is that it's a crime to them. Legally prosecutable to the point where you can be beat on. So don't tell me that these are the same. To Whoopi, they're not even, again, apples and hammers. These are not the same things. Even close.
And she knows that. That's the crazy part about it, Los, is that she knows that.
There's a level of ignorance that has to be portrayed on the show.
And yes, portrayed, because there's no way Whoopi Goldberg is that dumb. There's no way that she truly believes. Dude, she can't. She lives. Nobody has done anything to her walking from wherever she lives in New York to get to the set. Nobody's done a thing. How can you? There's no way she believes that. She's willfully ignorant, maybe, saying, I'm going to say it because I know that's what the Aunt Pegs in the audience want to hear, but she cannot. I refuse to believe that she believes that.
Being black in this country, it is being women
believe that. She can't in Iran. She cannot believe that.
It's not even close. All right, so let's finish up as we were talking about, again, the school that was hit by a rocket that was fired from the Iranians, and this is what occurred. Here is how, and we talked about it, admitted the Iranians are like, it was a misfire, this is what it did. Now, it works to their benefit because they get to scare all their people that, hey, we'll shoot you if you take part in this stuff. If you start trying to rise up against us, this is what we'll do. It works for them. That's how they use terror. They're terrorists. All right, this is how The View saw that.
And I just want to point out that this week they are set to vote on the war powers resolutions to limit, whose military operations in Iran. But given that the strikes have already happened, it's really not going to have that much of an impact.
Well, they've been successful. The strikes have been successful, taking out the terrorist regime in Iran, 40 leaders, along with the Ayatollah. There's more to be known about where that military location was placed next to a school, and we're still learning about that. They are attacking civilians. We are attacking military locations.
People, most of them children were killed in that strike.
Knowing that the Iranians had already admitted we did that.
For 72 hours.
That was us. That was us. The Iranians admitted it.
For 72 hours, that has been known. And yet, here's Whoopi Goldberg, here's Sonny Hostin, still pushing the far left line, the blue sky line, the Reddit line.
The blue sky line. That's exactly right.
Like, that's the Mother Jones line.
See, I don't know what's worse, Los. Because I don't believe that they believe the things they're saying. I think they feel like they politically need to say it. And I don't know what's worse, being that ignorant and really believing the things that they're spouting out, or lying on national television, lying in front of an audience, lying to people, and going along with the lie, knowing. I don't know what's worse, being stupid to it or lying about it. I don't know what's worse.
When you're talking in like 9-minute segments, it's what they typically do. I think if you're good enough at it, you can cover up the fact that you're going to say things that you don't believe in, and you can probably sell that to people. One of the reasons why we've always talked about the success of this radio program and how you know what we think is because we're doing 20 hours a week. I'm sorry, at some point you're going to find out, man, Tug and Los are lying about what they think about it. It's like we can't. We just can't. Right. You're going to see through it at some point. When you're doing it in 9 minutes, maybe you can. But I think
it's easier.
But I think it's a lot more convincing to the Aunt Pegs of the world for them to lap it up if they actually believe this.
Right.
And they have to have a level of ignorance in order to take part in it.
But Whoopi doesn't get lynched walking to work.
No, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, how can she believe that?
But you only have to take. You're telling me she doesn't have 5 minutes to actually see that the Iranians have claimed responsibility for a rocket that hit a school?
Yeah, I do believe she has 5 minutes. And I believe she knows and is lying.
And yet, so she's still playing into it. It's one or the other. It's either you're ignoring it
or you're lying.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I don't know what's worse, but I believe it to be, if I had to guess, I believe it to be the second one. She knows better and is lying about it because it moves her political message in the direction she wants it to move. She gets to claim, this political belief because it lines up, it adds up, it works for her political side.
Again, on the checking the boxes, I would also have on Aunt Peg who hit the school.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. Because I brought this up earlier. I didn't know where Aunt Peg, like we were talking about COVID at the time. Do you still believe it came out of the wet market? Do you think it was a bat? Or have you seen the light like everybody else has? Oh, it came. Even Jon Stewart.
What hit the girls' school? A precision-guided bomb from the Allies or a misfired missile from the Iranians?
What do you believe, Aunt Peg? What do you believe, Whoopi Goldberg? Man. God. When we come back.
Now you know why I talk about the silly stuff I do when I can.
No, I know, right? Because it's so irritating to think that they're just outright lying about it. And then equally irritating to think they don't take 5 minutes to figure out the right answer.
And this is why Elizabeth Hasselbeck will not be getting to be part of that show on a regular, because
they hate her.
Ran circles around them.
And they hate her. and
I just love hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down. She said, hang on a sec. Nobody on that show gets the stop sign because they all believe the same thing. Oh my God, so funny. And irritating as hell. When we come back, the Soros family is so ticked off right now. They have to be furious because they came out and made a statement. And then the people they made the statement about did a 180 next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, March 5th. The Atlanta Hawks are now over 500 after a 131-113 beatdown of the Milwaukee Bucks on the road last night as the Hawks rebounded from a rough first quarter to blow out the Bucks. Onyeka Okongwu with 21 points and 8 rebounds. Jalen Johnson chipped in a 20-point effort, grabbing 5 rebounds as well. The Hawks were back in action Saturday night at home as they host the Philadelphia 76ers. From college football, coaching legend Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. Holtz led Notre Dame to their last national championship during the 1988 season. Holtz was 249, 132, and 7 during his coaching career, including stops at NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Let's be honest. All cars and all car dealerships are not created equally. So when you're buying a new Toyota, you're not buying a vehicle, you're protecting a major investment. That's why where you buy matters. For over 50 years, Marietta Toyota served our community with the reputation built on straight answers, real accountability, and doing business the right way, proudly here since 1975. They have realized since day one that giving the customer the best deal possible, more car than they thought they were going to get inside their budget, that's how you keep people coming back. Here's the difference you won't hear everywhere. Every new Toyota comes with our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's valid for unlimited time and unlimited mileage as long as you own your Toyota. That's long-term confidence backed by Toyota quality and, of course, supported by Marietta Toyota, a dealership that will be here after the sale with service and genuine Toyota parts on Cobb Parkway South. Visit Marietta Toyota on Cobb Parkway South, about 3 miles north of Truist Park. MariettaToyota.com. Visit Marietta Toyota. We've been here and we'll be here for you.
Nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new Toyota purchase. See dealer for coverage details, exclusions, and requirements.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Matt, where does confidence actually come from?
Well, Brooke, most people think it's about faking it or achieving more. But real confidence starts with something simpler, self-awareness.
So how do you know if you're self-aware? And more importantly, how do you increase it?
That's where our image process comes in at howpeopleseeyou.com.
Is that the same process made famous by casting director Sam Christensen from MASH?
Yeah, and today it's helping corporate professionals show up with clarity and authenticity. Because confidence starts when who you are matches how you're seen. Learn more at howpeopleseeyou.com and sign up for a free preview event. That's howpeopleseeyou.com.
Is your entire home winter ready? Every entry point? Cold air is invading your home through your windows, entry doors, and your biggest entry point, your garage door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Keep that cold air out of your home and save on your heating bills with energy-efficient windows, entry doors, and garage doors from All Four Seasons. We're proud to be celebrating a quarter-century of quality work and customer care. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hey, it's Kimmer. Let me ask you something. When you paid your health insurance bill this month, did you think, how am I supposed to keep paying this and I don't even use it? Feels like a waste of money. Well, that's where a lot of people are right now. It's too expensive, but you can't afford to not have it. So what are you supposed to do? Well, that's where my guy Steven comes in, the health insurance doctor. He does this every day. That's why they call him the health insurance doctor. He'll look at what you have and tell you straight if there's a better way. Here's an example. This is true. One family was paying over $3,000 a month. Now it's around $1,200 without sacrificing coverage. Does not happen for everybody, but shows it's possible. And yes, there are plans with PPO networks, no deductible options, year-round enrollment. Anybody can sit around and just complain about their premiums all year, but not everybody can do something about it. My friend Steven, health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. You could be saving money before you even know it. The health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. Healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mike Fitzgerald?
No, I think you have the wrong number. Wish I could help you.
Well, you could if you were Mike Fitzgerald.
Who is Mike Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald is the only realtor I'll talk to because he can sell my house fast for a great price and even in this market.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Mike Fitzgerald.
Oh, I figured that out because Mike Fitzgerald would have sold my house already.
Need to sell your home? You need Mike Fitzgerald from the Harry Norman Realtors team. Exclusive Georgia members of Forbes Global Properties. Learn more at MikeFitzgeraldRealty.com. That's where you'll find Mike Fitzgerald.
Hank Williams Jr. live Saturday, June 27th, Ameris Bank Amphitheater with special guest Sammy Kershaw. On sale Friday 10 a.m. at livenation.com.
The legend Neil Bortz. He's only on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Yep, it seems that some people out there are really afraid to be called racist. I'm not one of them. First of all, I know what the word means. Most people that use it do not. Second of all, I know me better than the name callers, so it just runs off my back.
Atlanta Talk radio legends are only on Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los on Extra just wrapped up that conversation about The View and just whether Whoopi believes the crazy or she just does it to promote her political side. And I don't know which one it is, and I don't know what's worse, but I tend to think she knows the difference and yet uses it to push forward her political
That would be the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't.
Yeah, right. I just don't think anybody can be that dumb. It's nearly impossible.
You can test out your Aunt Peg all day long. It's not any different.
I know.
I mean, the amount of times that you and I are different because we're plugged into this all the time, every day, and we double and triple check things, and we go through it. The norms and normas out there, as even those on the left, they get a momentary blip, and they're like, oh, that's how it is. I mean, can you imagine there was an entire party believed that Russian collusion was real for 3 years?
Or that the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't?
Or that, oh, you don't understand, Donald Trump was like so buddies with Epstein, he was on his island all the time.
Or that Joe Biden was just mentally fit. He was just fine. And they all believed everyone.
They all believe every bit of it.
I believe there's a segment of the people that don't believe it, but know that it will hurt their political side, so they'll say that they do.
Van Jones is one of the only people I recall from CNN who said Russian collusion is a nothing burger, but he knew it was driving ratings for them.
Yeah.
But he said it on the street to people. He was like, it's a nothing burger.
Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying.
Because he knew.
He knew.
But that's different than the rest of them because Van Jones, in my opinion, is far more intellectual and pays attention to a deeper level.
Without a doubt.
He's one of the only people that I've heard talk about, along with Bill Maher, but Van Jones, I think, first and foremost, who has said, if you keep calling Donald Trump stupid, it's like you failed to know that he's very smart and he's beating us. He's like, it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
He's stupid. He's like, yeah, he's way out in front of us.
And something that I feel like we do well is even if we think it's going to be damaging, to our political side, if you will, to the right, we're not afraid to say, hey, this sucks. This is what's happening. And I don't think the left would do that. They would never. If they thought it was going to damage their political side or their political argument or their political capital, they would never admit to something that is going to do that. And that's what I think Whoopi does.
There's a significant difference when you look at what even happened in Virginia. Virginia, you had people that were on the ballot who had talked about murdering the children of their political opponents. and it didn't affect them at the ballot box. Yet here in the state of Georgia, we decided, well, I don't think I can vote for Herschel Walker, but I'll vote for Brian Kemp.
Yeah, so dumb. But that's kind of the same thing, you know?
It is. We have a different standard. Whereas the left's just like, is there a D there?
Yeah, then we're voting. That's exactly right. All right, 404-741-1230. David is on the phone, and he wants to talk about...
Hello, David.
Skydance that is now operating as Paramount Skydance because they bought Paramount, and now they would like to, Paramount Global would like to buy Netflix. David, what's on your mind?
Well, if Larry Ellison gets this deal through, he is going to be very powerful in the world of media. And I know that CNN falls under that umbrella.
Sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, The View does too. And he's a Trump supporter, so things could get very interesting in the next 6 months.
David, thank you for the call. Now, here's my only pushback here. If the left ends up at any point in control of the House in the next decade, I'm not even talking about 2026, in the next decade, one of the first things they're going to do is similar to what AT&T had during the 80s and the baby bells. They're going to go at this as a monopoly, because what the left has benefited from is that you've had a multitude of ownership, yet a uniformity of thought. They all push the same stuff, whether you're owned by Disney, whether you're owned by Netflix, whether you're owned by whatever the parent company is. It's a uniformity of thought, but not a uniformity of ownership. Ellison represents a uniformity of ownership, and if at any point there happens to be even a little bit of tiny more Republican thought or conservatism, or even just moderate for being fair, the left will go at it like it's a monopoly.
Look at how they're reacting to Bari Weiss at CBS.
Yeah.
And Bari's not a conservative at all. She's just like, we're going to actually give you the facts.
We're going to just try to moderate this.
We're going to moderate this a little bit. We're going to make sure the facts are correct. And they hate her. This is a lesbian woman Democrat.
Jewish lesbian Democrat.
And they hate her because they're trying to moderate. They're trying to put CBS in a position to maybe tell both sides of the story and not just be completely left like every other media outlet. And they are rebelling. They had a longtime producer quit this week.
We couldn't get to the story. We had too many things going on. But the producer that Tug is alluding to, on their way out, they brought up how they didn't know how to talk to the other side, to center the message. They left because they only knew one way to do the job, which is talk about it from the left's perspective. They didn't know how to reach the other side or to center a message. That's why they decided they're moving on.
Dude, can you imagine being that way?
But I like David's idea that what happens if this occurs.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, if it does,
they will fight it to the nail.
They will go after it like it's a monopoly, similar to what AT&T had during the 80s.
But look, is it good that there will be some diversity of thought, diversity in the company? Sure. I think it will. I mean, but I just don't know. I don't know.
It's just such a massive weapon for them.
Is. Dude. And why did I turn off the notifications on my phone? Same way. They own the entirety of the media.
I mean, you saw what they did. Once Elon Musk ended up buying X, how they went nuts. To the point where, I mean, we're just a year and a half removed from them deciding, I'm going to go firebomb Tesla dealerships. And you think they're not going to they're going to let it go that Ellison bought
they're going to set CNN Center on fire, what used to be CNN Center. The new Turner headquarters there next to. They're in downtown. When we come back, by the numbers with General Kane, this will show you the American military. Mike next on Extra.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, today I am going to be your consumer reporter, a man of many hats. I cannot reach the remote mute button fast enough when somebody comes on my TV and says, "Hi, I'm Damian Clark." But this isn't about him. It's about another ad on TV for life insurance, where you only pay a $9.95 a month premium. And they make it very clear during this ad that your rate, they call it a rate, will never go up, and it can't be canceled, and they won't ask you any questions about your health. Blah, blah, blah. So what don't they tell you about this great $9.95 a month insurance policy? For starters, they don't tell you what the death benefit is. Here's what else they don't tell you. For the first 2 years after you buy this policy, if you die of natural causes, anything but an accident, you just get your payments back. That's it. Plus 10% interest. There is no death benefit. But after 2 years, at $9.95 a month, here's what you get. If you're my age and you've paid the $9.95 a month, and at the end of 2 years, the death benefit is $400 to $500. That's it. That doesn't even buy an urn. The older you get, the rate stays the same, but the death benefit is constantly going down. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they don't tell you these little details in their advertisements. Maybe, just maybe, it might be that you're not all that smart and probably pretty easily conned. Tell your relatives that they can look forward to spending $400. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los start your day the right way on the Morning Extra.
I didn't hear the left say a damn word about those people being murdered in the streets. These champions of human rights like Jane Fonda. Where were you a month ago? Jane, were you busy? Were you shooting a movie? You didn't have social media? You didn't have time to get out there and make a statement? What was it? Where were you? And now all of a sudden she's got time? Get out of here.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. Support the advertisers and partners that share your values. Give our Extra advertisers the first shot to earn your business. They will deliver for you every time and support the Extra community like no one else. Connect with all of our partners online at extra1063.com. Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
It is day 6 of the war with Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and as Israel continues to go on the attack, Iran keeps countering.
Tel Aviv was under fire overnight as Iran is still trying to get off more ballistic missile fire. There have been 5 separate attacks over the past 12 or so hours.
Missiles that Fox's Trey Inks reports from Tel Aviv were shot down as Iran also threatens the U.S.
And I want to read you a post that Iran's foreign minister put on X after the news of an American torpedo took down an Iranian frigate off the coast of Sri Lanka. And he says in part, "Mark my words, the U.S. will come to bitterly regret precedent it has set." And so there is still a tough talk, despite the fact that Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, along with dozens of other leadership positions in Iran, have been taken out.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth will go to Central Command headquarters in Tampa today, and President Trump gives the operation on a scale of 1 to 10 a 15.
We're going to continue to do well. We have the greatest military in the world by far.
At the White House, Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports.
Right now, U.S. boots on the ground are not part of the plan, but the White House isn't ruling out the possibility. The more pressing need is securing the Strait of Hormuz to protect global energy flows. If necessary, they say the U.S. Navy will escort oil tankers through the strait.
The price of oil is rising again today, and at the gas pump, AAA's national average for regular has surged up 26 cents in 3 days, now $3.25 per gallon. So Americans are still stuck in the region trying to get out, but another 2,000 flights are canceled again today.
The State Department is also chartering flights with U.S. citizens on it to try to get them back here to the United States. The first one left yesterday in the evening time. Since the weekend, the State Department says more than 17,500 U.S. citizens have safely returned to the United States. And there's another option that some Americans who can afford it are turning to, and that's chartering their own flights.
Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
The news and talk I can trust. Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. It's 9 o'clock. We get off the rails on the crazy train in the 9 o'clock hour usually. So don't be surprised if it happens again today. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230 if you'd like to call. If you'd like to get involved in the discussion.
That's why people follow Pete Hegseth.
Why is it? Hang on. I missed something.
Well, I'm just saying that sometimes when it comes to leadership, there's a certain level of expertise that is portrayed with that level.
Yeah.
And you go, all right, I believe in what you're saying.
Yes, that's right.
Because every now and then you have a discussion in the office and you go, what the hell?
Hang on.
Hold on, hang on.
Hang on. Tell me what again? No, I'm with you.
It's like, wait a minute.
I try to observe. Like I'm a listen more, talk less kind of guy. When I see these things happen, I'm like.
We just had a discussion with a friend who had very strong opinions based on something he knows nothing about. And we were like, wait a minute, hold on a second.
I'm not sure you're right about this.
Hold on.
Love you to death, man. Our families vacation together, or used to.
It's like you told me about what the best movies of the year were, but you never saw any of them.
These, Tom, are your cause heads.
That's right.
I was just surprised.
Yeah. We were told that podcasting is a fad and that it's going away soon. Or at least
you don't have to get into details.
Well,
okay. But it was, yeah.
I didn't say who. I'm just saying people need to know why we feel the way we do, because if you don't give them anything, they're like,
I was just for the audience, I was just very surprised that there were very strong opinions based on something that they admittedly have never partaken in.
Yeah.
It's like trying to be an expert in Alfred Hitchcock, but you've never seen The Birds or any other movie.
Right. Or you don't know how he talked. In that weird way that he spoke that was all weird and creepy.
Let's talk about Tarantino movies. Which is your favorite? I don't know. I haven't seen any of them. But
he sucks.
Like, what?
How would you know that? How would you make that?
I hear Jackie Brown is interesting. Huh?
Right. Exactly. Man, Pearl Jam sucks. I hate that band. Really? What is it that you don't like about them? I don't know. I've never really listened to their music, but I know they suck. They can't be good. Okay. They've not had any radio hits in 25 years. All right. They're probably the biggest touring act in rock music. I mean, they still pulling in billions and billions of dollars touring and selling $80 T-shirts. They seem to have figured it out.
Sometimes it's better not to have a hardcore opinion.
Yeah, no, that's right.
You know, there's plenty of times where I say, I don't really know much about it. Not sure. I'll check it out.
Yeah. But I'll see if I can't come up with something.
Yeah.
And then that way when we do talk about it, I'll have an idea. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so have you ever had that happen at work where somebody came with this just super direct opinion and maybe
404-741-1230
and they just would not let it go. They just said this is the way it is, and yet you're sitting there thinking, I don't think that's the way it is at all.
You know, there's somewhere down the line where Cousin Curtis, maybe it was Cousin Curtis 3 generations ago, somewhere that ancestor said, you know, this combustion engine, What a bunch of bull.
Yeah,
now,
we're going to keep our horses.
The horse is where it's at.
That's right.
Young man.
Don't you know? This thing is a fad. It's going to go away. Ain't nobody going to be driving these coast to coast. Somebody, gosh, I can't remember who said it the other day, but it made sense what they were saying. They talked about, maybe it was Elon Musk. I don't know. But they talked about how somebody will eventually drive cars just for fun the way people ride horses just for fun.
It's Clay Travis.
Is that who it was? Okay.
Clay Travis.
I thought it was really smart.
He purchased a Tesla. He used the self-drive. And he said, we will look back at it because we have 40,000 deaths on the road every year, that once the self-drive becomes very efficient, becomes robust, becomes across the marketplace, that the only people that will drive will be driving just for fun. And it will still be that same idea of horse and buggy.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe people used to drive.
Yeah, right. I can sit back and this thing takes me where I want to go, and I can
push the button and put in the address, and we're there.
And I can do emails, and I can make calls, and still get to the airport at the time that I would have a long time ago when I was driving. Yeah, it was pretty clever. I thought it was really smart. I'm glad you remembered who it was, because I don't know about you, but like you hear so much and you read so much. Sometimes it's hard to just remember the people that say all the things that are said.
It's really the creatine supplement, that's all.
Well, I need to get some of that.
It has my brain firing off into all these steel trap craziness.
Yeah, you have a great memory. I do not, admittedly.
You ever tried that NeuroGum?
I haven't, but I've heard about how that does. There's a NeuroGum.
I've never heard of it.
And it's supposed to enhance and increase brain function.
I need some of that.
It's the synapse firing a little differently. There's a lot of, I think that's one of like I don't want it to sound like mumbo jumbo, but I do believe that there's a lot of interesting supplements out there that do little things for us. And if you start taking them, you start noticing a little differences. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think that creatine is actually pretty interesting.
I always thought, isn't that for working out? That's what I
Yeah, no, it's for muscle development, but also it does have an effect on the brain. Right.
Nice. This is Extra 1063. Let's get the first thing to know today.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high, man, we got the story, no time for a lie.
Here comes a boot of truth.
Put a boot in your ass, courtesy of the Morning Xtra.
That's very clever. I like it.
Boot of truth.
Nice word for us. I love it. You've seen the successes of the United States military combined with the Israeli military working almost seamlessly together. The two biggest air forces, the two most experienced air forces, the two most well-equipped air forces, the best two air forces in the world. And I want to play you a cut from General Kane, General Raisin Kane, when he talks about how much we've diminished the Iranian military and what you can expect moving forward, like air superiority and things of that nature.
As of this morning, U.S. Central Command is making steady progress. Iran's theater ballistic missile shots fired are down 86% from the first day of fighting, with a 23% decrease just in the last 24 hours. And their one-way attack drone shots are down 73% from the opening days. This progress has allowed CENTCOM to establish localized air superiority across the southern flank of the Iranian coast and penetrate their defenses with overwhelming precision and firepower. We will now begin to expand inland, striking progressively deeper into Iranian territory and creating additional freedom of maneuver for U.S. forces.
Dude, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. In 24 hours, everything is down another 23%. And the number overall, as you heard the general say, down 86%. And you heard Pete Hegseth. We ran it live here on Extra 1063 around 8 o'clock yesterday when he talked about uncontested airspace. The United States and Israel are locking down Iran, and we are at this point, we're barely being even shot at.
I thought Pete and Kimmer did an excellent job of talking about what this means when it comes to the rest of our adversaries, that Venezuela was like a nice opening warm-up to show you what we're capable of doing. It certainly got the Cubans' attention. It got the Russians' attention. It got the Iranians' attention and the Chinese attention. Now what we've done to what is supposed to be considered a sophisticated air defense system.
That was Chinese.
It was Chinese in origin. I think we've now shown the Chinese, long-term, you don't have the technology that we do. You can steal all the stuff that you want. You can try and build systems. You don't have the technological capability to deal with what we can deal with. And so I believe every single time we have one of these Pentagon briefings, I think it's obviously for the American people. It's to let everyone know what's going on, but it's also for our adversaries to let them know, here's how quickly we were able to deal with these threats. And you won't be any different, because it's your technology out there in the field.
Now, I do believe there's a part of me believes, Los, that the Chinese are not giving anybody, even their proxies like Iran or Venezuela or whomever, they're not giving their top of the line stuff. You know what I mean? It's like us. We always save our very, very best. We share a lot with our allies, but we don't give the very, very best. We don't give the newest and latest. So I do believe that the Chinese probably would be used if we were in some sort of all-out war with the Chinese, which I don't expect anytime soon. I expect if there is ever a skirmish, if there ever is a battle, it will probably be covert, because they both know, or we both know, that nukes are going to just destroy the entirety of the earth. It's not like we're going to get to that point with the Chinese.
No, I think a lot of this is, if you have designs on Taiwan, just know that the defense capabilities that we have put in there is so far ahead of what you can handle. And again, they're not getting our best stuff.
No, that's
yet. Right. It's just a little reminder that technologically, what they have will deter you from making this easy.
I think they're absolutely looking. I think they're absolutely taking notes. I think it does change their probably plans, if you will, seeing how easily we cut through everything. But I do believe that the Chinese technology that they will use for themselves is different. But I do believe that the CIA, the FBI, the special operators, our military, the Pentagon, I think we have a pretty good idea of what they do have, and we work against that. But I guess my whole point is, with Iran folding the way that I saw them fold and we're seeing them fold, it tells me that the Chinese probably gave them the, here's the leftover stuff. You use this. It'll be fine.
They have, from what we've been told and what we've seen from what they've tried to do, they have F-14s in their arsenal. Okay, that's Top Gun era stuff.
Yeah, and if you recall, because Top Gun Maverick, it was all Iran, right? That was where all the mindset was.
It's the mindset of what it's supposed to be.
And what did they have sitting on the runway that Tom Cruise jumped in?
F-14 Tomcat.
F-14, exactly. What was it? The whole point is they're using dated technology. So that's easier to cut through than say, something that is up to par, which I do believe the Chinese are probably working on and developing. I think it would just be a different encounter. Not that I ever expect a hot war like that.
And nor should we ever. It's more of just, there's a reason why you have these situations go off in these other countries. Like, Russia never wants to have a conflict with the United States. We're both nuclear powers. It would be idiotic, and it's the end of the world if it ever got to that point. But if you want to fight it out with the Ukrainians, well, the fact that you've been in a quagmire for the better part of 4 years kind of lets you know, like, this is what your technical capabilities are. We have managed to have, as we've pointed out, overall air superiority over the entirety of Iran in 96 hours.
Uncontested.
Uncontested.
Using his word. So I'm blown away by it. Some of the technology that we're able to use, I'm not even sure I knew that we possessed or we had, and I'm glad to see the United States excelling the way that we are. It makes me stand up and salute. It gives me hope with everything that happens that this Pentagon is prepared. This Pentagon has laid out a path to victory. They know what the objective is, and they're going to get it done using the technology that is available. As a matter of fact, CNN, they had a military analyst on, And he was talking about this kind of the same thing. And I guarantee you the people at CNN were just like, oh, my God. Why did we get this guy?
If you are Xi or Putin, you hate us, but you have to respect the military capability of the United States. And it's Midnight Hammer, it's the snatch and grab on Maduro, and now a pretty massive bombing campaign. And, yeah, we'll have some missteps and some foot faults here and there. But when you look at the span of what the U.S. military has done in the last 2 months, it's pretty extraordinary, and it will get your attention in Beijing and Moscow. Secondly, in terms of are we demonstrating strength and so on, I don't think that's a reason for going to war. But I would add to the argument you just made, or the individual you spoke with just made, is by weakening Iran, you are weakening Russia. You're weakening China. China looks at Iran as a big investment opportunity. Russia looks at Iran as an arms and technology supplier. Many of the drones flying in Ukraine today were made in Iran. So there's a geopolitical pragmatism that can affix itself to these strikes in terms of degrading both Russia and China.
Yeah, this display, what I take from that and what I believe is this display of dominance in so many theaters. Look, I would even include what's going on in Ecuador. The fact that we just have our intel community helping the Ecuadorians, and that is going with no problem. Everything is happening. Most people don't even realize that that's going on because it's not been blasted, because Iran is taking up all the oxygen in the room. But this display of dominance and military power, that is a deterrent for every other nation in the world. I can promise you that.
I just love the idea of American strength.
Yeah, exceptional.
I love the idea of American strength around the world because more times than not, we don't have to do anything. You know, we had a small blip on the radar.
And that's what you hope for, not having to do anything.
Absolutely. We had a small blip on the radar when you and I were talking about what was going on in Europe and the lack of support that you got initially from some of the European countries. And when we brought up Spain, I said, well, what if you decide to hit them with additional tariffs? In fact, I'm probably calling them saying, here's the additional tariffs because of your non-commitment to being able to help us and use military bases. What happened? 24 hours later, Spain, hey, we were just kidding around.
Yeah.
Just playing.
Right. Jokes.
Same. It was fun, right? Everything's good. Same thing with the British. You didn't have to fire a shot. You didn't have to threaten anybody with a phone call. It was just, hey, here's what's going to happen.
And I love their rebuttal was, well, they can't do that. We've got agreements with it's in contracts. Dude, if Donald Trump wanted to do it, he was going to. And you know it. That's why you capitulated so quickly.
But that's American strength.
That's right. On display.
And we're supposed
put some respect in your mouth.
And we're supposed to apologize.
I ain't apologizing to nobody.
Neither am I. It's like, am I supposed to apologize for being a bully? Guess what? We get to be the bully. Because we're typically the ones that fit the bill and also have to defend you.
We're taking care of everything for you. And NATO, which I want to get us out of. I've wanted that for years and years and years and years. Because that is exactly right. The Spanish spend nothing on their military. The French spend nothing. The Germans spend nothing because they knew. Well, look, the Americans will do it. They'll pay for it. They always do.
It's like I've talked how Donald Trump is your daddy. Daddy's home. Daddy's going to go ahead and handle this stuff. But you can tell Spain, as long as you're living under Daddy's roof, you're going to live by Daddy's rules. And it took them 12 to 24 hours for them to say, you're right, Daddy.
It's interesting, though, how it's changed the calculation for our quote-unquote allies like Spain and the UK. But it's also changing the calculation of all of our enemies and adversaries like Xi and Putin. At the exact same time, this military dominance that's happening in Iran. When we come back, the most dangerous Democrat in America on Extra 106.3.
You've been warned. If the Dems win the midterms, the border opens back up. Impeachment comes down, and you get more riots in the streets. Now's the time to hunker down and vote red. Count on Extra 106.3 to bring you the stories that matter from the most trusted voices in the country. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Truist Park is waiting for you, Braves country. Baseball is back, and so are your Atlanta Braves. The opening homestand of the 2026 season begins March 27th through the 29th as the Kansas City Royals come to town for opening weekend. The homestand begins with 2 gate giveaways, a magnetic schedule powered by Georgia Power, plus a rally towel presented by Racetrack to bring the energy to the home opener atmosphere on Friday, March 27th. Then on Sunday, March 29th, it's the first Kids Club giveaway of the year. The first 3,000 kids through the gates will receive a Ronald Acuna Jr. chenille cap, and families can enjoy exciting pregame activities inside Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Park. The excitement continues March 30th through April 1st as the Athletics visit Truist Park, and tickets start at just $10. Plus, fans can score a Drake Baldwin NL Rookie of the Year bobblehead on March 31st, presented by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Ain't nothing beats the cozy comfort of a warm fireplace on a cool Georgia night. Tug here for Chimney Solutions. But before you light that fire, make sure the chimney's clean, safe, and ready with my friends at Chimney Solutions. Atlanta's trusted chimney experts for over 25 years. Did you know that a dirty and damaged chimney could lead to dangerous carbon monoxide leaks or even chimney fires? Don't take that chance. Chimney Solutions certified technicians use state-of-the-art equipment to ensure your home and family are protected. They also specialize in gas log conversion, fireplace remodeling, and energy-efficient chimney caps that keep pests and rain out and heat in. From cozy cottages to luxurious homes, thousands of Atlantans trust Chimney Solutions to keep the heart of their home burning bright. Visit chimneysolutions.com to read actual customer testimonials. chimneysolutions.com. Chimney Solutions, keeping Georgia homes safe, warm, and beautiful for over 25 years.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Immaculately designed and manicured backyards can significantly enhance your property's value and visual appeal. And by adding a customized, professionally designed and installed artificial putting green from ATL Turf Co., it'll take your home to the next level. ATL Turf Co.'s custom greens are designed to replicate tournament-level green conditions with realistic ball bounce, roll, and speed, and has a stimp meter of 10 to 12.5. So maybe it's time to consider artificial turf.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turf Co. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Retirement should feel exciting, not stressful. But if you're close to retirement or already there, have you ever stopped to ask, do I really understand the risks to my plan? Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Things like market swings, higher taxes, inflation, healthcare costs, even living longer than expected can slowly chip away at your savings if you're not prepared. And even solid plans can have blind spots. That's why we offer a retirement risk analysis. It looks at how your investments, income, and taxes could hold up in real-life situations, not just on paper. It helps answer the big questions. What happens if the market drops? And will your money last as long as you do? If you're within 10 years of retirement or already retired, give us a call, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a complimentary retirement risk analysis. Nicholas Wealth Management, helping you retire with clarity, confidence, and control.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
Israel is a very hot topic right now, and with so many opinions and emotions surrounding it, it can feel hard to know where to even start. The Bible tells us, I will bless those who bless you. That isn't just a comforting promise, it is a clear calling from God. And today, with anti-Semitism rising around the world and here in our country, that calling is more urgent than ever. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with the policies of Israel or defend wars or anything else. But at a time when Jewish communities are experiencing more hostility, more threats, and more violence than ever, Christians have a powerful opportunity to respond with God's love and to say, you're not alone. When Christians choose to bless Israel, they are not entering a political issue. They're honoring the root of our faith and standing against hatred. Supporting Israel is more than just a belief. It's a biblical mandate. And by partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, you can push back against the darkness and be a light to God's people. Learn how you can bless the people of Israel and be blessed in return. Visit IFC
ifcj.org today. ifcj.org. Be the blessing. Live the word. Answer the call. ifcj.org.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPsetc.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, March 5th, and here are your headlines. The Israeli consulate in Atlanta is on heightened security alert as tensions escalate in the Middle East. Consul General Eitan Weiss say officials are working closely with the Atlanta Police Department, monitoring potential threats against Israeli and Jewish interests in the region. Officials say there's no credible threats in Atlanta at this time, but security precautions have been increased. The Georgia State Senate has advanced a bill aimed at guaranteeing public school students the right to protest and participate in political activities. Lawmakers say the proposal would strengthen students' First Amendment rights following recent walkouts at Metro Atlanta schools. And finally, a new immersive sports and entertainment venue called Cosm is set to open June 10th in downtown Atlanta's Centennial Yards District, with its first ticketed event scheduled the same night as Game 4 of the 2026 NBA Finals. The dome-style venue will use massive wraparound screens to create a stadium-like viewing experience for live sports and other events. It will be the third location to open across the United States. Today's weather is going to be a beautiful one with a high of 80 and a low of 59. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Welcome to the show. It's 9 o'clock hour as always, bouncing around and talking about crazy stuff that happens. And we've decided that once a month we're going to give Los a platform to just go crazy. I think we should do it once a week, just maybe a scaled down version, but once a month. What do you call it, the Friday Files?
Or you could do bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, all right. The Friday Files with Front Office Los.
That's much more respectable than what you guys are coming up.
Well,
Tinfoil Friday was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty funny, too. And then I compared it to something like...
I hate you right now, Bryce.
Coast to Coast AM. And Los was like, having none of it. I love that show.
And then you threw out there the whole Looney Bin Los. Because I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories during
Friday.
Tinfoil Friday.
No, just foil, because that's the stylized version of it. Not tinfoil, just foil Friday.
I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories that have proven to be right. But if you've ever seen, because it's very popular on YouTube, I think at this point now it's one of the most popular channels, the Y-Files. And Y-Files are fun. It's just a fun show. And the work that goes into it is, here's the whole story, and then at the end it's debunking all of it. What happens when you can't debunk it? It actually turns out to be true. And that's what's been funny over the years, that there are some that are now being proven to be true. And so go back and listen to, like, for instance, Y-Files, when they did the stuff on Plum Island. All the research and all the information, all the background is good. That there was research done into using ticks as warfare, as using them as biological weapons. But then the theory of how Lyme disease got out, and you look at Plum Island, and we're like, well, but that's just conspiracy talk.
Or is it?
And then we declassify the files, and it turns out, nope, that's what happened.
And a guy we respect a lot, Dr. Robert Malone, you shared it last night. He had a whole article about it, and that's when I think regular, everyday Americans, when they see his name attached to it, goes, So things may be different than I expected.
So, as it turns out, these files have been declassified, and we have been working on germ warfare, this sort of stuff using ticks.
I've been hearing about that my whole life.
So I'm going to do a whole segment on that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I just put more names into ChatGPT. A couple of them. The Conspiracy Cabal is one of them.
I like
the Friday Rabbit Hole.
Okay,
I actually like that a lot better.
Tinfoil Hat Happy Hour.
Instead of tinfoil happy hour.
I got a Monster Energy drink, unless there's some sort of vodka to put in here.
We're jumped up on caffeine. The tinfoil happy hour. I love that.
Yeah. Or there's the Friday Freak Show, which I think is a little...
And I'm not with
too aggressive.
Yeah. So, you want some good options.
Yeah, the rabbit hole's good. I think the happy hour.
If you start playing X-Files music behind me, I will not only like it, but I will also be a little angry.
If it can be both.
I'll be like, I feel like you're honoring, at the same time you're mocking. But, yes, tomorrow, the first edition, we will do Plum Island.
Yes, and we're not sure the name of it. So if you have some of the things that we've thrown out there today, If you like any of those, 404-741-1230, 404-741-1230, or at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. Love to hear maybe your ideas, something that you've come up with.
If we have a consultant that looks into this, they're going to go, the hell kind of idea was that?
A good one,
it's
damn it.
a Friday for fun in the 9
right.
o'clock hour.
You told us we need to have more fun. Then that's what we're going to do. We're going to have more fun. Because, look, I don't think it's wrong. The topics are often very heavy, and it's good to cut loose. It's good to have them. You can't
save the country every segment.
Every segment of every day. So it's good to be able to laugh. It's good to be able to talk about things like you traveling with your daughters in volleyball, and me and Jacob and my wife with baseball. It just life stuff, real life stuff. Taking back just a small segment of the show.
Like your dad getting Lyme disease.
Well, but that was
a theory.
That was absolutely when he was very, very sick. This was probably mid-'90s, early '90s. He was at Emory University, and they were worried about him having Lyme disease.
Maybe it's Lyme.
Couldn't figure out why. Couldn't figure out where it came from. Some of the symptoms were lining up. Others weren't. They ultimately said, no, that's not it. But, dude, I was horrified of Lyme disease. I was like, what is this, and how do I get it? Am I going to have this because it's, passed down? It's an inherited trait? I hope not. Good Lord. And turns out it wasn't. But that's tomorrow, 9:25. Liberal John's on the phone, 404-741-1230. Do you have a name, Liberal John, for the segment that Los might do? Do you have something like that?
I don't have a name. I like the ones that you guys ran through, but I definitely love Coast to Coast. That's what I was telling Bryce. So
dude,
that's why I called.
Dude,
Tug loves it. So many of our listeners, it's funny because I think they're all generally at the age that when the height of Coast to Coast, a lot of us were working and we would be getting home at night. Yeah. And so a lot of us caught Coast to Coast.
Yeah, it was so good. John, did you prefer Bell or Nori? Who did you like?
I like Bell.
Yeah.
But I like both. But I do like Bell. And we used to have William Cooper on a lot, or Bill Cooper. And that's the guy that wrote Behold a Pale Horse. And they used to have him on a lot. And I fell in love with that show, man. So,
what was your favorite conspiracy theory? Before we let you go, what was your favorite conspiracy theory on Coast to Coast?
Where you would turn up the radio.
Where you'd lean in.
I think just the whole alien cover-up. I mean, I really do think that there's something there.
Dude, you and Los are walking arm in arm, skipping down the street with that one.
Yeah, we're going to sidecar that one. We're going to take a ride to Roswell. Thank you for the call, John. So I think for me, I was working, early on. I was doing Frisco Rough Rider baseball. I was working at the Ticket in Dallas, and, first, here, we're going to have you be the producer of Frisco Rough Rider baseball. I'm like, I'll take on all the producer jobs you'll throw at me.
Give me everything.
I'll take on a minor league team, a AA Ranger affiliate. I get to learn all the prospects and cover the team. And whenever I was done, typically minor league game, about 10 o'clock, finish up, then hop in the car, head back to my apartment over in Fort Worth, and that's where it would be either Loveline or Coast to Coast.
Yeah, you go back and forth.
Just back and forth.
One was on commercial to the other.
Yep.
Yeah. That was,
What was Loveline?
Oh,
Bryce.
See, I also don't know Coast to Coast either.
Okay. Well, so Coast to Coast, you're getting an idea. Coast to Coast was done by Art Bell. It was basically done out of his camper.
And he had this mysterious voice, and it was deep and gravelly. And, he was older at the time, so it switched to George Norrie when he kind of retired a little bit.
Yeah, he retired for a while. He came back and did it, and then he has since passed. And it was a show in which you could bring up. Now, he would have guests that were on, and they would discuss all of these different, not just conspiracy theories, but, somebody would call in, or they would have a guest who was trying to locate Bigfoot. And they would talk about what they have and how they do it, and, just a lot of stuff like that. But then you would also get stuff like, deep sea exploration, stuff that was more science-based. But it was a mix of everything. Loveline was different. Loveline was Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. So those are two names you probably do know. And it was a discussion show. They would take phone calls, and it was about love and relationships. And I guess the best way I could describe it was part informational, part comedy, to the point where MTV ended up hiring them to do a version of it. but it was never like the radio show. The radio show was some of the most fun radio you could hear at night, overnight. It would air on all these rock stations around the country.
Yeah, it was crazy. Specifically for rock stations, they eat it up. And I was so surprised because there was a little bit of reality TV kind of feeling to it, because people call in with their issues.
They would quickly smell you out and point out like fake caller. But they could also tell, and it would oftentimes be Dr. Drew, if you were a woman who had a lighter, squeakier voice, he would often point out that people that were victims of sexual abuse, sometimes they were stigmatized by that, and so they would sound a certain way as they got older. And they would sound more mousy. And so that validated to him when you brought up what had gone on. And sometimes it would be medical advice, who you should see, what kind of psychologist. Then there were times where
Dr. Eric Deal, by the way.
Yeah.
If you need some help, Dr. Deal that you hear on here, his initials are ED.
Then there'd be times where it was just, hey, my girlfriend's doing this, and Adam Carolla would be like, this is what you should do from here. So, I mean, it was help, but at the same time, it was comedy.
It was, but I'm telling you, you have these rock stations, everything is da-da-da, and I love Tool, and I love Metallica, I love, great rock.
The one I remember growing up that I would listen to with my parents in the car was Delilah.
Oh, my Lord. That's so totally, that's like Hallmark radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
completely different.
Some people that I've worked with over the years, have a personal relationship. I've never met her, but I hear she is the nicest woman on planet Earth. But yes, it was Hallmark. Tell me about your love story. Who broke your heart? It's very soft and very effeminate, very female-driven show where Loveline was totally different. Couldn't have been more opposite.
Loveline, this is where it was different because then moving forward, you had the emergence of radio stations and companies that started to create basically voice actors. And what they would do is they would pitch you stories. And you could choose to subscribe as a radio show. And so what would happen was you would subscribe to the service. You would pick up for that week. Okay, here's what we're going to have. This is Jennifer, and she found out that her maid of honor, Sarah, is sleeping with her fiance, and what should she do about it? And she's going to tell the story on air. And then they'll bring on the other people that are involved in it. It was all an act. But
you couldn't tell because they're voice actors. They're really good at what they do.
They're voice actors.
Like War of the Roses was one of these type of segments that they would do with those actors.
But it was all based off of the success of Loveline. But Loveline was all real. Or, I mean, if somebody called in and they figured it out, they're like, okay, this is not real. But they weren't paying to have people do this stuff, whereas FM radio started going to these voice actors to create these similar scenarios to build these stories.
Without a doubt, especially the pop stations.
The pop stations got really big into it.
Huge. Matter of fact,
this is Jeff. He's sleeping with his best friend's mom. Stuff like that.
I was asked one time to call a station out of the Atlanta market. They're like, hey, would you do this? Here's the story. We just need you to call in, and this is what you say. That'll trigger the rest of the calls and the rest of the segments. I bet, Los, you've probably been asked to do something like that before, too.
I know other people that have. I've never participated in such a thing.
For sure, because it's entertaining. It turns into...
What was the story they asked you to read?
Man, it's been 15, probably...
Because what happens is they tell the story, and then it's one call after another from your audience. It's like, I think they should do this. And that's the show at that point.
I'm sure,
but it's all manufactured.
If I remember, it was something like, marry my cousin, whatever it is, because it's the country thing.
It sounds like you might have married your cousin.
Yeah, well, I did.
Hi, my name's Jerry, and I married my cousin.
That's right. And now we have children, and everything's fine. Y'all tell me it ain't going to be fine. It's just fine. I love my cousin.
So he wears a helmet.
That's right.
He didn't come out the right way. We baked him.
It was always the most absurd out in left field with a football bat. Never had to make sense.
But it always had to do with some scenario that the person was coming on to. Well, this person emailed the show, and they want advice, and we managed to talk to them about coming on. And it was always some sort of elaborate and this is how I got involved with my boss, and now I've got to figure out how to end it, but I'm worried about my career, and what should I do? And then you get the audience participation.
That's how it worked. Doesn't really work that way anymore. I don't think. Well, I say that. I don't know that with.
I think it's hard to do those type of shows now.
I think it's just harder to pull off because
people
realize. Although I don't know that people care sometimes. You know, I mean, I think they just want to be entertained. It's like reality TV. There's nothing about reality TV that's real.
Yes, it's all constructed for you.
Without a doubt. It's not scripted, but they're like, here's the angle we want you to take. Go do it.
I had an intern who had been on the show Cougar Island.
Okay.
And he went through all the details of and then they wanted me to do this. And then they told me I had to do this.
They're creating scenarios.
They're creating the scenarios by which he's like, and then we want you to be intoxicated. Then we want you to go tell her this.
Yeah.
Thursdays at 9:25. If you need relationship advice, Tug and Los got you.
That's right. That's what we'll do.
Relationship advice Thursday?
It's extra love line.
Leave her.
Yeah. Get up. Get away.
Get out of there.
Yeah. Get on out of here. When we continue on Extra 106.3, Scott Besson, as we wrap up the show, is the secret weapon versus Iran. Something he did that not even a missile could do. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, March 5th. The Atlanta Hawks are now over 500 after a 131-113 beatdown of the Milwaukee Bucks on the road last night as the Hawks rebounded from a rough first quarter to blow out the Bucks. Onyeka Okongwu with 21 points and 8 rebounds. Jalen Johnson chipped in a 20-point effort, grabbing 5 rebounds as well. The Hawks were back in action Saturday night at home as they host the Philadelphia 76ers. From college football, coaching legend Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. Holtz led Notre Dame to their last national championship during the 1988 season. Holtz was 249, 132, and 7 during his coaching career, including stops at NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
For a lot of drivers, the question isn't, should I buy a Toyota? It's, where should I buy it? Because the dealership matters long after the paperwork is signed. My good friends at Marietta Toyota, well, they built their reputation the right way. Trust, consistency, and of course, most importantly, taking care of the neighbors and customers for over 50 years, proudly serving the Marietta area since 1975. You get real selection, straightforward answers, and a team that respects your time. Here's the difference most dealerships don't include. Every new Toyota comes with our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's valid for unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. That's long-term confidence backed by Toyota quality and supported by a full team here after the sale with service and genuine Toyota parts on Cobb Parkway South. It's time for you to visit Marietta Toyota on Cobb Parkway South, about 3 miles north of Truist Park. Marietta Toyota. We've been here and we'll be here for you.
Nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new Toyota purchase. See dealer for coverage details, exclusions, and requirements.
Let me tell you something that I think you should do, or that I think would be really smart to do. You know, you probably filled out your taxes. I know my family has. We know what's coming in. We know what's going out. And if you're getting a refund, now might be the time to put that refund toward comfort and efficiency. Do not wait. Upgrade. Instead of wasting the money, upgrade your home's comfort using Carrier products, the best in the business, working with the best in the business at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Carrier has high-efficiency systems. They have Carrier rebates, financing options that are good, long-term savings. So don't waste the tax refund because it's so easy to do. I'll just use a little bit of it for this, and then it becomes I'll use a little bit of it for that and the other thing, and before you know it, that's gone. And then you cannot upgrade your home, your heating and air, to a Carrier system, or even those great systems that Carrier has that cleans the air in your home installed by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Do not waste that tax refund. It won't last. Invest in something that you use every day, and that is your heating and air conditioning unit, your HVAC. Call the experts at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Chuck and his team will install that system lickety-split. They'll have it done right away, and you and your family will be in comfort for what remains of, March, because we're going to still have a cold snap in March. We always do. And then when we get into warmer weather, cooling off the house. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is Philip Holloway, founder of the Holloway Law Group. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So your New Year's resolution was to slow down on the drinking. Now you're in a jail cell facing a DUI. Time to call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance will get your loved one home quickly. For 20 years, they've been helping folks with 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham and are available 24/7. For fast, professional, discreet services, call 404-BAILOUT. That's 404-BAILOUT or visit atlbail.com. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I love what you do. I love your show. Love your listeners. And just remember, one team, one fight. This nation actually is special for a reason. If we lose it, there's no more hope in the world. I truly believe that.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los getting ready to wrap up the show, but want to address the fact that Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, is doing a press conference right now. If there's anything that comes out of it, we will make sure that you know about it here on Extra 106.3. I'm sure Glenn Beck will be talking about some of those issues, some of the things that he's bringing up, as well as Clay and Buck, and then the local afternoon show with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Oh, my God, did you hear Pete Hegseth? I can hear it now. That's the way it'll shake out, Los.
It's interesting. He's from Doral, Florida.
He's talking about drug boats and stuff like that and border control.
There we go. We've kind of fixed that problem, the old drug boat problem. I hadn't heard anything about that lately. It seems like it.
It's funny how they stop sending them once you decide that you don't have the head of the cartel heading up the country any longer.
Yeah, no doubt. So as that unfolds, anything that comes out of it important, we will get it to you. I want to talk about another dude that is a warrior. His name is Scott Bessent, and you're thinking, warrior? He's not a warrior. He doesn't wear the uniform. No, but he's a warrior in a different way. He, under the direction of President Trump, put massive pressure on the Iranian currency. Listen to this. It's a multi-leveled attack against the mullahs, or at least what's left of them. Los called it 4D chess the other day, and I agree with it. That's what this is. Choking off the cheap oil to China, choking off the drones to Russia. They're doing it economically just like we're doing it militarily.
President Trump gave the order for Treasury to exert a maximum pressure campaign on Iran. I said at a speech at the Economic Club of New York in March that I predicted that the Iranian currency would collapse, that we would see the economy collapse thanks to this maximum pressure. So we have been softening up the economy and preparing the ground for what our great warriors are doing right now. So the Iranian economy was vulnerable. We cut off the dollar supply into Iran. All of their oil is sanctioned. We've been able to keep the funds many of the funds out of Iran. One of the largest banks collapsed in December. The central bank was forced to print a huge amount of money. Inflation ensued, and people took to the streets. So there was an economic crash in Iran in December, and now we have the opening to go in, and our military is taking over from the sky and from the sea.
Yeah, and then they announced a new global 15% tariff. That is going to also do some damage to especially the countries that are adversaries of the United States, whether Iran, China, or Russia, because all of this is about China. In my opinion, all of this truly. Do we want the mullahs out of there? Absolutely. Are they going to kill their own people? They did 40,000, 30,000, 35, whatever the number is. It's been mixed a little bit, but we know a lot of people were just killed in the streets. So, yes, did those people need to go? Yes. Did they not need to have a nuclear weapon? Of course they didn't, because they would use it rather than it being a deterrent. But don't be misled. This absolutely has to do with our biggest adversary, China.
If this all in Iran can be done cleanly, then what you're trying to do when it comes to the Chinese and the Russians, most notably the Chinese, you're trying to put the genie back in the bottle. They have had designs on being the world's next superpower and being on par with us. And I believe it's our responsibility, because they are not a free people, because they are communist, because they are a government that does not have an issue with slavery. They do not have an issue with some of the torture of their own citizens. You have to put them in a box. You have to put them back in the bottle and say, listen, you can do whatever you want, and we're going to have an economic relationship with you. We're going to continue to buy your goods. You're going to continue to have access to our American markets. But as far as your designs on world domination, that ain't happening.
We ain't going to allow it. Not going to happen. Donald Trump, like him, hate him, whatever you feel about him, he's done more for human rights just in Iran than anybody that I can think of, in any president.
That's why they're on the rooftops celebrating and posting videos.
And women are taking off the headscarves.
Citizens are enjoying
and
this.
dancing in the streets. And a dear friend of ours who reaches out, wife from Iran, has echoed that. That's why it's so important. And this started well before the first bomb was dropped. Now we've gotten to that point. The economy was already soft. These people had had enough with the tyranny. They had had enough with the failing economy. And now they see something in the future that could resemble freedom. And God bless them, and I hope they get it.
This might be the first time they've had a light at the end of the tunnel since about 15 years ago, when the Arab Spring occurred, and just as before, it was all put down by their authoritarian government. And now the fun part about it has been, and I do take fun in evil people being unalived, that they were all together, then they were all dead. Then they tried to get together again to elect a new leader, and they're all dead again. Yeah. So now at this point, who are you going to elect as the new leader? Because at that point, they're gone too.
Yeah. Because we've already hit.
How long do y'all want to keep playing this game? Who do you want to elect that we're going to say, so now do you want to negotiate?
Well, when Trump said, we all got a laugh out of it a little bit, when Donald Trump said, the people we were planning on working with, well, they're dead too now. We had another opportunity to strike a gathering of these people. Now they're doing it via Zoom, I hear, or some technology like that to keep from being just absolutely blown up. I think he was dead serious about that. We had probably plans to work with some of those people, much like what's happening in Venezuela, to have a person in there that we think we can deal with. And they were they were eliminated. They're not there anymore, so we're working through.
Considering that there are at least, that we know of, that we've documented, 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life. First off, if the Iranians decided that they wanted to kill any American president, that's enough, in my opinion, to go bomb them.
Of course.
Had they decided, we're going to kill Joe Biden, I'd be like, hit him.
Yeah, you got to go hit him.
It's like,
you can't allow that.
You are not going to attempt assassination on an American president's life.
That's right. Yeah, you can't.
So if you just decided to put that foot forward, listen, we're spanking them because of this. But as we're now seeing, when it comes to nuclear capability and what they were doing to their own citizens, there's stuff that's a lot bigger than Donald Trump not having to dodge an assassin.
Yes, and
there's human rights, there's nuclear weapons, there's all sorts of stuff. This is all justifiable.
And them being the proxy of the biggest adversary we have in the world. That's another big one, too. And look at the damage you're doing to the Chinese economy, and that is valuable. President Xi going to be in town at the end of the month. I'm wondering how that conversation has changed and wondering how it will go. That'll do it for us. For Los and Bryce, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Listen to Extra, share it with a friend. It's how we grow and how we can reach everyone in the Atlanta community that believes in the American way of life. If you value the station, help us grow by telling someone about the Extra 106.3 app.
Babe, can you knock out my honey-do list today?
Oh, I know. I told you I'd get to it this weekend.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalomia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. I can't fix your marriage, but I can fix your house. With our handyman for a day service, we'll handle those drywall patches, that door that won't latch, the leaky faucet, and the wood rot all around your house. The whole punch list, done fast, done right. You keep your weekend, she gets the house done. Everybody wins. Book your handyman for a day at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, the Trusted Toolbox.
I'm Rick Jackson. My dad abandoned us. My mom was an alcoholic, so I left the projects. Shoe shining, ticket scalping, vacuum sales. I found purpose in work and built a $3 billion business. Like President Trump, I don't owe anybody anything. And like you, I'm sick of career politicians. I'm running for governor to lead America in criminal deportations, to cut income taxes in half, freeze our insane property taxes, reform the system so that anyone who can work will work, and not just sit around binge watching Netflix and eating Cheetos. I'll let law enforcement do their job. And if you're caught helping a child change their sex, you're going to jail. I'm Rick Jackson, and I'll get these done. Paid for by Jackson for Governor, Inc.